Evening, evening. Oh, welcome to Instant DANalyst. A little bit different tonight because I'm talking both Spurs and England and the World Cup. So yeah, just thought I'll just change the show to this title, make it easier. The come down this episode is called. So yeah, what does it mean? What does it all mean? The come down. Now, guys, look, England have just given us a massive high, right? Massive win against Mexico into the last eight against Norway. Spurs have had some big signings and fan excitement, but now the noise has dropped, the adrenaline is fading, and we're left asking the real questions. What now? What's true? What's next? And what does any of it actually mean? Yeah, plenty to talk about tonight around England and the World Cup and Spurs. You guys in the chat, I don't know where you want to start. I'll kind of be guided by you. But yeah, plenty to get on with. Big up to everyone who's joined us. Smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. Links in the chat. Anyone want to come in and have a chat with me, talk about anything, by all means, come on. Stay as long or as little as you like. So yeah, so big up everybody. Let's go chat and see who's with us tonight and see who's in the comments. Let's have a little look here and see who's here. So Tom, big up Tom, mate. Thank you so much, mate. I hope you're good. Big up Dan. Smash the lights, people on its way. Cheers, man. Big up to Adrian as well. Good evening, Dan, the panel, and all. Evening to you, Adrian. And big up to Cookie. Big up DANalyst, having it large as usual. Yeah, big up Cookie. Hope you're good. Here's the link. Anyone want to come in and get involved in the conversation? Yeah, sorry, I was a little bit delayed. Just setting it all up at the last minute. And then we got evening to Liam as well. How you doing, Liam? You watched the video earlier. Yeah, interesting one. Right? I'm going to probably talk a little bit about that as well tonight. Go over some comments. I haven't responded to some comments left on that video, so I thought I might just kind of respond to the comments on the live tonight. So yeah, I'll be shouting out some people out who's left comments. It is so hot, man. Yeah, it's baking, isn't it, Tom? Absolutely baking. Look, I think I've got someone who's joined me. Let's have a look and see who it is. Device not connected, so they've got some connectivity issues. Sure, they'll come in a second. Maybe having some problems getting into the room. So look, I've not been online this morning. Has there been any breaking news around Spurs? I mean, I'll have a quick little look throughout tonight, but anything interesting come up about Spurs? It's all kind of quiet now. It's all the rumour mill now, isn't it, guys? You know, yeah, it's all about, and Spurs, to be honest, have been selling some players, haven't they? So that's good. They're clearing out some players, recouping some money back. That's what you like to see. And hopefully it continues. Try and get as many players out as we can in this window. Yeah, 100%, man. I want to see more gone, more out. So look, why I called the show the come down. It's because it's called the come down because we had a mad few days, right? England beating Mexico, the emotion, the drama, the quarterfinal against Norway coming up, and then with Spurs, with all the buzz around the big signings, fans getting excited, people saying ambition is finally here. But now the noise has dropped off a bit, and Spurs news feels a lot quieter. We're in that kind of dead time where player sales are happening, as I said. Links to forwards are flying around, and nobody really knows what's real. So look, we'll get into it tonight and talk about any talking points. I've got some that we can discuss, go over the World Cup and the last eight, and how's everyone feeling about England? And yeah, you're looking forward to the game, big game Saturday. You're expecting to win. Let us know. Are you still on a high from the other night, early hours of Monday morning, or are you kind of looking for some more information, looking for some more excitement about Spurs? You're just looking ahead to the weekend. Yeah, let us know in the chat how you're feeling. So a little bit of a come down now after all that buzz on Monday night. I think Adrian's joined us now. Let's click him and see if he's working. I can't see him. Just Adrian, are you there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just camera difficulties at the moment.
What's going on?
I don't know, actually. I'm trying to sort it out.
All right, mate. I'm sure he'll sort it out and come back. But yeah, let's have a go to the chat. Big up, Drula. How you doing, Drula? Big up, Dan in chat. Evening to you. A few hellos in the chat there between Tom and Drula. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. look at anything. Look, I've got Rim Knight is in the room as well. Spurs Diehards are here. Well, he's almost here. He will be on his way shortly. Just got to sort out his camera. But yeah, guys, you know, how you all feeling about the England game? That was a madness, wasn't it? Monday night, early hours of Monday. I mean, what a game we had. What a fantastic match. One of the best England games I've seen for years. And it was an iconic game, wasn't it? And I thought it would be playing in that stadium. You know, England lost there in 1986, hand of God. And yeah, what a mad game. And yeah, I was happy. I'm sure everyone else, England fans, the country's buzzing. And it's good, isn't it, when you've got that kind of buzzer in the country? You know, there's so many problems with the country, and this kind of, you know, England playing well in the World Cup is yeah, it just helps, doesn't it, with all the troubles going on in the world. And yeah, it just gives a bit of a buzz. Obviously, you know, it could all come to an end very soon, you know. Tough game against Norway at the weekend. But yeah, are you jumping on this coming home train yet? I'm not. Yeah, I'm just enjoying each game as it comes. Enjoyed the Mexico match. Looking forward to the Norway match. A game really that we should be favourites, but Norway, they've got some very good players. A lot of them playing the Premier League. It's going to be a hell of a game. I don't know what early predictions for that one is. And also some of the other rounds in the other quarterfinals as well, like, you know, the last 8. I think we got like Morocco, France. I think that might be tomorrow night, guys. That's going to be a mad one. We've got who else have we got? Let me just have a look. I sorted this out a little bit earlier. Let's have a little look here and see who we got. I'll just bring Adrian in. Hello, Adrian. You all right?
I am now. I'm a little bit of a technical difficulties there. How are you? You're fine?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Just a bit of a last-minute stream tonight. Okay. Yeah. Did you stay up the other night for the game?
Yes, I did. I've stayed up for quite a few games as it happens. When you're retired, you can sleep in, can't you? So, yeah. Watched a few. I thought that Argentina game was brilliant. I mean, as much as I wanted them to lose, but Romero steps up with a goal, which gets another few mil for him. If he goes, he might stay. You know, we don't know yet, do we? So there's a few things up in the air. There seems to be a lot of noise around Jed Spence at the moment. I'm a bit with Spence. I'd like to see more of him. He is homegrown, but there's no reason why you keep a player just because they're homegrown, especially if they're not good enough. I remember when Porro first came to Spurs, I thought it was an absolute disaster. If anyone remembers the 2 games he played, we had Newcastle and Leicester away, and we got banged out in both of them. Like,
who are you talking about, Adrian? What player?
Porro. When he
first
came.
Yeah, Porro. Yeah.
But he's good at what he does. I mean, like, I think we fall into a trap is we expect the players to be perfect, Dan, don't we? We expect them to be perfect. But the question should be like, can they be consistent enough and do a good enough job for us over an entire season? That's what it should be. And if De Zerbi trusts them, who doesn't trust De Zerbi now, right? Saved their asses, didn't he? Right? You know, it would cost us, I don't know, 100 to 200 mil if we'd gone down. So now the club has decided it shook them, I think, and now they decided to spend some money. So yeah, I mean, like, I'm very happy with the transfer window already. To bring in the players we've brought in, Tonali and Fernandes with Senesi and Van Heck, and then with the loans as well. I mean, this is the best ever transfer window, and we know there's going to be more incomings, don't we?
Look, Adrian, Jed Spence, it's a good little talking point, isn't it, to talk about? Yeah, just answer Rim 90 in the chat. How can a tourist get a Spurs ticket for a pre-season game? I just think you've got to be to get a ticket these days. I don't know if it counts with the pre-season, but you've got to be like on the membership, don't you, Adrian?
Yeah.
What's it called? The Spurs One.
Yeah, if you're a Hotspur 1 Plus member, or there's 2 forms of membership there. You pay about 50 quid a year. I think it is 55. The only difference between 1 Plus and Hotspur 1 member is it is an extra 5 that go on the season ticket waiting list. But then what normally happens during games on the Monday and Tuesday before a game, tickets go on sale if there are any left. First to 1 Hotspur Plus members, and then on the Tuesday they go on sale to the Hotspur 1. You know, just
So
for one.
so I think that's what you have to do, Rim 90. You have to be a
Unless
member.
you like to the club, you're coming from abroad, so look, come in, I want to really see the game and all that, and they'll probably reciprocate and let you buy a ticket.
Yeah, worth a
Unless you
try.
belong to a supporters group, again, it would normally apply at the club as well. Like if you're an American supporters group, and we've got more supporter clubs in America than any other football club, if you applied and say, look, we want to come over for a game, can you fit us in where and when? They might allocate you tickets.
Yeah, Tom answers him as well. You should be able to get one for the August the 15th game. Yeah, why not, man? Where are you from, Rim 90? I don't know. I don't think you've ever told us where you live in the world. Yeah, let us know, man, in the chat. Evening to Sheriff. How are you doing, Sheriff? Are you okay now, mate? You recovered from that Monday night? You were like, that was so fantastic, man. You coming on the stream, man. Yeah, he was down the pub and watched it.
Sheriff was on the Enfield. No, but I mean, like, I was having a few drinks to keep up. I mean, once you put the kick off back an hour, right? Good performance, especially down to 10 men, hostile crowd. You're playing away from home, and that is their best performance in this World Cup. The only other bit we did well was the second half against Croatia, wasn't it? If you're honest, so like, now we need to kick on. It's like you're in the quarterfinals, you get through. It's once you're into the last four, anyone's World Cup, basically.
Look, Adrian, I think look, we're probably going to jump from Spurs to England. I think we'll start off with Spurs. It's the Spurs channel, so we'll stick with Spurs, see how far that takes us, and if we got time, we'll talk about the World Cup, because I want to talk about it as well, because it's a massive game coming up on Saturday. Let's just go a couple of comments in the chat, and then I wanted to go back to Jed Spence. Liam says, glad that Kane is finally getting acknowledgement for being top class. Those who used to take the mick out of him have gone silent. Some even deny he wasn't up to it. So keep it up. Yeah, it's ridiculous, Liam. All it is trolling. That is trolling. Just fans jealous of Kane. They don't know. They don't mean it. I think it's banter more than anything. A few hellos in the chat there. Sheriff will see Cookie in the morning. And they got their morning show. Go and check them out. 9:30. Don't know if Nigel's going tomorrow morning. I think he went this morning. I'm not sure if he's going tomorrow, but yeah, go and check the two marks out. Beast 4, evening to you, Beast 4. These late night podcasts are great. Then cheers, man. Yeah. Look, it's difficult to get online, kind of set time consistently right now because of the baby and just life. So yeah, I'm just going to be going on live when I can. So yeah,
it's a good slot to have it late. It's like when I'm looking for other podcasters, and I mean, we go out Fridays and Sundays mainly, but
yeah,
if you want to fill a slot, people can fill a slot late at night, or they can fill a slot. There seems to be quite a bit of space free on a Saturday. Now, I understand with weekends, people are busy going out, having a good time, so I get that as well. But, it's a broad church, the Spurs fan base. I mean, like, people watch from all over the planet. So, yeah, so a Saturday slot is also good for some of you. If there's any podcasters thinking of doing a Saturday, I mean.
Yeah, look, there's so many podcasts out there, and yeah, you just got to go live. Yeah, and it's great. Everyone joining us tonight. We've got 34 people in the room. It's fantastic stuff. 11:30 at night. Fair play to you all. Big up to you all. I'll try and get through as many comments throughout the evening. Make this as interactive as possible with you guys. Yeah, we can all just chat about Spurs and everything.
Hate Arsenal, give the video a thumbs up, right, and subscribe to the channel. Okay.
That's a good one.
Don't just be lazy. It only takes a second to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, right?
Yeah.
So don't be a lazy ass, yeah?
Yeah, appreciate it, Adrian. Yeah, and I'll get your link up soon, mate. And yeah, if anybody's not subscribed to your channel, they can go and give you a sub and check you out as well. So yeah, big up to everyone. Let's say a couple of hellos still. We've got Carl in the chat. Evening, Carl. You're always here, buddy. Fair play to you. Like, so, everybody in the chat has been coming into the show consistently recently. I appreciate you all. Got Daniel 90 as well. He still comes as well sometimes as well. Daniel 90, how you doing, mate? Good to hear from you.
I still take Vlahovic, Dan. Don't laugh. It's a private joke. It's just a private joke.
Yeah, the Vlahovic links were today again, weren't they? Scott, if De Zerbi, big up to you, Scott. If De Zerbi wants crap, I sure hell he'll don't trust him.
He doesn't.
I think he's referring to Spence, maybe. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure there. So Room 90 is from India, and we have a huge Tottenham following there. Yes, you do. Spurs, big around the globe. You know, it's growing. The fan base is growing. Yeah, thank you, man, for letting us know where you're from. Yeah, thank you for joining us. Let's go for a couple of more chats. Is it just me or Joe Linton and Ramirez used to make Tonali look good? I'm trying to be positive, but still can't understand 100 million for Tonali when we had better options. Must be the relationship with the gaffer or the 2-hour phone call I heard today.
I disagree. I disagree with you, Ramesh, but it's subjective. I disagree. Tonali was even better in Italy. He wasn't constrained, but under Eddie Howe's system, I mean, Tonali was more progressive when he was playing in Italy before they bought him. I mean, so I think under he's going to be absolutely perfect for us.
Look, Tonali, I mean, when I watched Newcastle, there was that collective good midfield, right, guys, wasn't there? That was that combination what made it work for Newcastle.
Yeah, brilliant midfield.
Yeah, and it's all about relationships, isn't it? Combinations, and that those three in there were fantastic. When I saw Newcastle play, they had just so much drive. It was tempo for me. Good tempo, aggression, pressing, taking control of games, and you know, when you're up against those three, and not so much last season, Newcastle struggled a bit, but seasons before, you knew you were always in a game when you had those three in midfield. And I think, you know, and Adrian, you can say in a minute, I think, you know, and I know what your opinion is, but midfields, you got to have a strong midfield. Games are won, and this is what you say, Adrian. I've heard you say so many times. Games are won and are lost in midfield.
Exactly
and
that.
spending 200 million.
Yeah, and you've got the thing about midfield. You have to have bite and pace. It's the reason why we struggled. It's the reason why everyone expected Liverpool to have a fantastic season after winning the league, but it's just they just didn't have the bite and pace in midfield. You know, so you know that is one area you have to fix. And we were pants, right? The forward line was pants as well. But I mean, like, you get games when a midfield work well with their defence, but very well. I mean, it lacked cohesion and that with the attack as well. I mean, we can slag off the attack as much as we want, but then you have to create chances and you have to have someone to put the ball in the net. And the creativity wasn't there in a lot of games, was it? We were desperate. Bergvall was coming on the left-hand side, trying to give us a bit of left wing play, but it wasn't happening. You know, you would tell when he came on to do the same thing. It didn't make us really. They looked bright in what was really a crap show, basically. I mean, like, we were pants.
Yeah,
even our defence. Everyone raved about our defence, but hang about, if our defence was that brilliant, Dan, we wouldn't have finished 17th, would we? You know what I mean? If you look at it that way. So we know the players are much better than they are. Under Frank, who I thought was absolutely awful. I wasn't a Frank in or a Frank out person. I didn't really know nothing about him. I knew he did okay with Brentford, but I mean, I didn't know. But then De Zerbi comes in after, you know, and like in the last 7 or 8 games, we're 4 points behind West Ham, looked doomed. And like with these players, without the new ones he's got in, he saved their butt, didn't he? De Zerbi deserved to be backed.
Look, yeah, he did a fantastic job there in those last seven games, I think it was. But yeah, look, just want to go to comment. I'm going to go back to Tonali in a second, but yeah, Rim 90 doing memberships. Yeah, I'm going to get memberships going soon. I've just got to work out how to sort it out, and yeah, hopefully we'll get that memberships out. And yeah, if people want to join the channel, support the channel, you know, it'd be great. Get involved, feel part of something. Yeah, it will help us out with, you know, running the channel as well. You know, we have to pay for StreamYard. I don't know if people who watch YouTube, I know how much it costs. It's not cheap. So yeah, any kind of help with memberships help us, and yeah, it'd be great, and feel part of something as well. And yeah, just keep this channel growing. And I think Adrian's got memberships already.
Come on, get your memberships up for Dan and get your super chats in. It helps his channel. I'm not too bothered with my channel, actually. I mean, but
I don't have the memberships going yet. I've got to work out how to do it, but I'll work it out at some point. But yeah, that should be coming soon. And I've got Jay Ashraf in the chat. How are you doing? Hey, Jay Ashraf, how are you? Hi, Dan and Adrian. I hope those Kulu. Oh yeah, they're not true. They're just a wind up. And then we've got Anthony in the chat. What's that?
It's not what I'm hearing. I can tell you what I've been hearing, but I mean, like what I've been sort of told in quiet.
That's not true. I think that's just fake stories.
Mm.
We got Anthony in the chat. How you doing? Big up, Dan and guests. How you doing, Anthony? Hope you're good. A few hellos in the chat. Beast Fourth says Fabio tweeted an hour ago. Moani wants Juventus and talks. Well, that's good news. Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's not what I'm hearing, actually. I'm hearing like that PSG are a bit pissed off with Juventus for dragging their feet. If they wanted him last season, all this time when he'd gone, you'd think they'd be making moves. And now PSG, what they're doing is saying, no, they're open. We'll accept an offer off anyone because they're just pissed off with Juventus stalling them, you know? So that's what I'm hearing now. On our side, what I'm hearing is like Savino is the number one target. We've been linked with Leao. There's been reports that Leao will come on a loan with an obligation to buy. Not true. If we go in for Leao, it'll be a loan with an option to buy because of his, which is more of his inconsistency. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I've been told is true, you know. Other than that, we've been linked with Nusa from Norway, the great young talent. Side El Mala. We've been linked with Abdi Azuzuli, who I really like at Real Betis. Right, I like him. Who else we've been linked with? Obviously, Gakpo. There's the young kid at PSG, Ibrahim. I forget his last name, but he's young, too young. We say we don't want to bring no kids in, but I would take Krupi. No, he's not into. I would take Krupi. He looks a bowler.
Yeah, let's get back to Tonali. And Cookie in the chat says Tonali, great signing, class, quality will prevail. Now look at Tonali. I really like the player, and I'm looking forward to him. He's kind of going to be our general in that midfield, isn't he? He's going to be driving us on. And there's not necessarily he's going to play the deeper role in there. Might be Fernandez playing the deeper role, or they might be switching up in the games. You never know, really. They both can do it. They're not. Both of them are not pure defensive midfielders.
I think you've nailed it there, actually, because with those two in midfield, they'll just deal with situations as they happen. They're both a combination of the Ponzi descriptive narrative of a 6 or an 8 in today's game. They're not 10s, although Tonali can put a defence splitting pass through the lines, as can Fernandez, right? They're both similar in that way. I just think they'll just play. I don't think, I mean, we'll see if De Zerbi wants an anchor man, but I don't think so. I think they'll just play. And they'll just deal with circumstances as they happen on the pitch between them. And they can. They're more than capable of doing that. So I don't think it's the case of one of them sitting back.
Yeah.
But that's only my opinion. I could be totally wrong, right? So,
yeah, but it gives us flexibility, doesn't it, those two players? So, I like it. I like it. Obviously, may take a little bit of time. It's going to get used to each other and things like that. But it's fine. We're not in a rush. We've got to build something.
I like the pace and bite they give as well because they're both tenacious. I like the tigerish attitude they have as well, you know.
Yeah, both, and also Fernandez. He's got a high ceiling, right? He's 21, and I'm hoping that his game is going to get even better. But thinking with De Zerbi and his coaching, I mean, once he gets hold of him, world's his oyster, really, isn't it? So it's exciting times for those two players.
I've been going on it. We need goals from midfield as well.
Look, we'll come on to that definitely, Adrian. I think let's keep going with the chat. Liam, we need a big name to want to come here. It means that other ones will also consider coming. Important to have that done before the end of the World Cup. That's kind of what's happened, right? You know, one comes, then the next one, and they're all kind of getting involved in this project under De Zerbi. And it's exciting times. It really is. And we all know there's more money to spend. And they're working on that forward line, and we're just waiting now to see what those players are going to be. But just going back to a little bit about Spence, Adrian, because you did touch on it. Yes, Everton could be keen on him there. There's no reason to think that's not true. The price that they're offering for Spence is too low, in my opinion. He's an England international. And if Spurs do sell Spence, which I'll be surprised because he's homegrown and we need homegrown players. We need cover at right back. Spence is quite a flexible player, can cover the left as well. And I don't particularly like that myself. I'd rather him play right back But that means we're going to have to go and get another right back. So I'm not too sure how much truth there is in that story. I'd really like to see what the source is, if it's anybody good.
Spence is happy at the club, right? He has no intention of leaving. And he said when questioned that, no, I don't want to talk about anything till after the World Cup anyway. And he's happy at the club, right? So I don't think Spence is going anywhere. And as you've got him and Burrow on the right, I think it's okay. You know, both are not perfect. Both have got flaws in their game. But then you've got to look at who you're going to bring in that's better. I mean, I'd take Van der Sar at Monaco, the right back there. I would take him.
The problem is, Adrian, you're going to have that issue, aren't you? You're going to have that issue of what's it called? You know, Porro is the first choice, right? Or something. Someone's. I think that's room 90. Hold on, let me bring him in. I think you turn off your phone, buddy.
Hi, am I audible?
Yeah, turn off your. Have you turned the stream off on your phone that you're watching us on? Because I think there's a little bit of feedback there.
Yeah.
You got it off, room 90?
Okay. Are you able to see me?
We can see you, buddy. How are you doing? You all right?
Yeah. Thank you for letting me in.
No worries, man. How are you?
I'm doing great.
You're doing good. Thank you for joining us tonight. Yeah, get involved with our conversations around Spurs, England, whatever. Be good to get your point of view on things. But yeah, back to Spence. I don't think that's going to happen. But if it's a big offer comes in, Spurs may consider it. But then they've got to have a plan, haven't they? They've got to have somebody else coming in, you know, because we need two right backs. I don't think there's anyone coming through the youth academy either at right back, is there, Adrian?
No, they just let Dante Casanova go and he played it right back. No, I mean, we know our priorities are on the attack at the moment. That's what the club are focusing on. All these rumours out there regarding, or the media like stirring the shit like they do with their club, you know what I mean? Then the defence is sorted, the goalkeeper's sorted. We may look at the other goalkeeper at Juve, or the substitute goalkeeper that's been mentioned, but it's not a priority. The priority is the attack at the moment. All I'm hearing is
sorry, Adrian. Rim 90, there's some terrible feedback coming from your camera or your phone, man. Can you have you got any earphones or anything you can plug in? Yeah, I couldn't concentrate with that racket.
Okay, fair enough.
Could you?
Well, I mean, look, we know, every fan knows you ain't got to be, you know, super brilliant intelligence to know that we need a left winger and bring a striker in, do we? If not two wingers and a striker, and that's where the focus is now.
Let's talk Creepy. Beast fourth. I've got some information on Creepy. Let's talk about him. You know, I did talk about him in the show the other night, but you know, there may be some different people in here tonight. I mean, it's got a little bit quiet. We don't know what's really going on. It's very, very at the moment. There's talks about it, but I don't think one of the big guys have come out and said it, have they, Adrian? Creepy is one of the big guns. No. So I'd be a little bit cautious with that, but there's definitely something in the story.
He wouldn't be the 100 million player like Fernandez or Tonali is, but you could get him probably from 75 to 85 mil because of his age. And there has been conversations, but we'll see if they solidify into anything tangible. I mean, yeah. I mean, the kid looks an absolute threat as a forward, you know, either as an inside forward, number 9 or whatever. So, like, I watched the video of it and posted it in the Spurs Diehards WhatsApp group and a Facebook group as well. And I don't browbeat people, Dan, as you know. I just let people look. The video's there. Look at the player. Make your own mind up. You know, I actually think he'd be an excellent choice. I think De Zerbi would like him. He's this type of player. You know, he likes the player sort of like an Ollie Watkins type that can get him from behind, because the system he plays is usually with pacey wingers that can feed the ball in behind the opponent, so as a player can run on. He would be perfect for this. So, but we'll see. I think we'll spend the money. I actually think we'd spend probably 80 mil to get him. And I actually think Bournemouth would sell him for that. I really do.
Well,
You know,
yeah, they
it might be
probably would.
85 of add-ons, but I think they'd sell him for that.
Yeah,
'Cause
because they could go in with their scouting, Adrian. They can go in and buy 3 or 4 players. Do you know what I mean, with that money, and improve their squad? And
yeah, I don't know what their financial situation is at their club, right? But yeah, I think
yeah,
he
I
came
think
from
it's hard.
in France, I think, before he went to Bournemouth.
Yeah.
About
So
the
if
30s.
you can, I don't know if you can see what I brought up on the screen here, but
Yeah, I
you know,
can. Yeah.
these are his strengths. He's got good football IQ, exceptional awareness, quick decisions, and advancing positions. Always one step ahead. He thrives between the lines, links midfield to attack, and he would excel in a De Zerbi fluid combination play. He's got elite close control, slick dribbling, sharp passing, and calm finishing in tight spacing. His finishing, for me, is, I think, the main reason why we're looking at this player, because he can score goals. He can.
What I like about him, when I look at videos and people say to me, "What do you look for in a player in videos?" Well, if they're midfielders and attackers, I look for players with vision who move the ball quickly, who can make things happen.
Yeah.
And this kid was not short of a shot outside the box, so it upset Thomas Frank straight away, right? But yeah, I mean, like I like him. I mean, and he will go further.
Yeah, look, you know, the season before last, he was playing in League Two, though, so he wasn't playing in the top division. But he scored a lot of goals, 23 goals, 2 assists. I think he signed for Bournemouth, but he got loaned back. So last season was his first season in the Premier League, and he scored 13 goals, no assists. He didn't always start for Bournemouth. He came off the bench quite a lot. But for me, it's his finishing, really, which is impressive. The way he can finish. People have kind of compared him to a bit like Defoe with his finishing. But look, he's a young player. I think with him, there is a bit of a risk. It's a lot of money for a player with only kind of one good season. Obviously, all signings are a risk. You know, you look at a player like Tonali, Fernandez, you know what you're going to get from those two, right? They've got Premier League experience. You know what they're going to do. That I wouldn't say those are risks, but a player like Krupi, one good season in Premier League, there is a bit of risk attached to it. But with you said the other day, Adrian, when you came on my show, it's about really looking into the kind of play in depth, right? I don't know what you said. It's like is it like the psychological aspect of them as a character? You know, how would they get on playing for a bigger club?
You have to do the due diligence.
That's
about
the word.
Psychology, and you have to pass it. We didn't do it with Ndombele and all that. We got burnt badly with some of the signings, and some of the signings were just poor value signings anyway. You know, we were shopping in Poundland rather than Harrods. Now we're shopping in Harrods. Yeah, so I mean, my first pick would be Vlahovic because of his experience. But with him, you've got, he'll take a cut in wages, 250, 160k a week. But because he's on the free, how much does he want as a signing on fee? It could be 30, 40 million. His agent might want 10 million or whatever.
Yeah.
So that is where the money is. The fact that he's willing to take a cut in wages, he wants to go. I would take him for his experience. I've always liked the player.
Vlahovic, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't think he fits a De Zerbi system. Do you? I mean, does he?
He does like the sort of, yeah, you're right. I mean, I would take him because I like him, right? Not because he's reserved, but he likes the more of the Ollie Watkins type of player that gets fed in between and runs on behind the lines. So this is why Krupi would be a very good sign-in. So, but I just like Vlahovic, you know what I mean? So that's my take on that, you know?
Yeah, fair enough. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Vlahovic, to be honest. I don't think he fits what De Zerbi wants to do. We need pace. We need people to get in behind. Yeah, yes, the hold-up play and all of that he'll be good at. And Danny Welbeck, we saw playing under De Zerbi, right? He did have a bit of pace. He could get in behind, and he could hold the ball up. So we know what sort of striker De Zerbi is looking for. And it will take a little bit of time to get this right. Krupi, if it is Krupi coming in, I do think we need to sign another one as well. I don't think we can. With Krupi, I think he needs to play off a striker because he hasn't got the physicality.
Yeah,
you know. And if you're looking, if the tight games when you're, trying to get in behind teams when they're on the low block, yes, his finishing could be key. Take a chance out of nothing. That's great. But I think you do need some physicality in the forward line.
Yeah,
you'd
have someone like a Solanke who can hold the ball up well and lay it off. And Krupi's not that at all, is he? He's just not that, right? So
No, he's not.
he's more an inside forward, playing off a main striker type. Probably could even do a job on the wing, but yeah. Whereas so it would give De Zerbi the option, because it looks like Richarlison will go. He's in his last year, so he needs to go anyway, because he'll
be going. He'll be
good.
going.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think if we're bringing in Creeper, we need another one as well. Just going to Sam in the chat. Sorry to hear, man. You're not very well, man.
Yeah, get well soon, that's funny, mate.
Yeah, get well soon, buddy, man. Sorry to hear that. Just a few hellos in the chat. Beast doesn't like Valovic. She said he's awful.
That's fair enough.
Different opinions on players. Buy Krupi and Welbeck, Tom said. Well bet, man. He keeps going, didn't he? He must be right coming into. He's 30. He's 30 something. I don't know how old.
If you buy Welbeck, you get a Zimmer frame with him as well.
Yeah, I think he's a little bit too old, Tom. But yeah, he's a good player. I like him, but I think we need someone with a few more years ahead that's going to come in and do a job for us. This however long De Zerbi is going to be there. It's a massive decision, this striker, guys, honestly. And and I'm okay with it taking a little bit of time as long as they get it right. I know everybody wants it to be signed now. We've still got some time before pre-season starts. But yeah, we do need to get that decision made quickly, because we want him there as much as pre-season as possible, and with the left winger. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about Rafael Leao a bit later as well. Room 90 says my pick would be Lauro Martinez. Yeah, I don't think you're going to get him out of Italy. I think we tried, didn't we, a few seasons ago under Conte, but yeah, we just couldn't get him out. Do you like him, Martinez?
We've got 7.5 weeks to go in the transfer window, so because we've done a lot of early business, there's plenty of time. I mean, the World Cup finals Sunday the 19th, and then there's 44 days after that. So there's over 6 weeks after that. Admittedly, though, it goes 9 weeks into the new season, because we're aligned with Europe and all that. The only leagues that are a bit different are Turkey and Saudi Arabia. They go on a bit longer, and I think some of the Scandinavian leagues, because of the winter break and all that and the weather they get, go on a bit longer. So yeah, but there's so much time now for us to do even more business, and I don't see these deals being rushed now. But you've got, say not rushed, not like bang, 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 get free and straight away. Although I believe, Dan, that De Zerbi would like to get his players in for pre-season, which, believe it or not, starts Friday for teams that are back, players that are back that are not involved in the World Cup, and they'll have their 2-week break. So pre-season starts this Friday, believe it or not.
Yeah, madness, isn't it? So yeah, we do want to get someone in as soon as possible, ready for the pre-season, ideally. But yeah, we don't know what's going on, do we? We don't know. The club probably are in discussions with other players, but not everything's always leaked to the press, So we'll see with that one. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, everybody's looking all the time. Who we're bringing in, all these links recycled. A lot of them are fake. Got to be careful, but fans enjoy it. They do. They like looking at the links and dreaming and things like that. Each to their own. Look, let's just a couple more chat, and then I'm going to want to go over to some talking points. B says I think Brian Brobby would work. He had a decent season for Sunderland. No, Adrian's shaking his head there. I think we can do better than him. He's a lump, isn't he? Though he's a problem. He caused us a problem. That quality goal he scored against us at our ground. When we could, when Sunderland came with us, what a finish! Yeah, I'm not sure though. Maybe wonder how much Sunderland will want for him. Sonny says try Krupi off the left like a support striker, Kudus wide to a cross. Yeah, that with the player like Krupi, got a bit of flexibility there. Sonny likes Bobby as well. I've got this is Adrian's link here in the chat. If anyone hasn't subscribed to him, please go and give him a subscription. Thank you very much. We got One Spears King in the chat as well. How you doing, man? Let me bring up your message here. Hold on, here he is. How you doing? Bloody hell, is COVID still a thing? Yeah, it is still a thing. Yeah, it's still out there, but there's just not much press about it anymore now. It's kind of, it is what it is now. Crazy times. At least we can tick Mason Greenwood off the list. He's gone to Fenerbahce. So yeah, I heard that. And I heard that he was offered to Spurs, and Spurs said no. So yeah, interesting one that. Good player, Greenwood. but comes with a lot of baggage,
Great
doesn't he?
finisher, but, you know, after the thing with the girlfriend, when the beating up on the phone thing and all that come to light, and the, you know, the tape recording of that, but then since then, even under De Zerbi, you know, he got back with his girlfriend. They've had a child and all that. But I just think a Greenwood signing would be too politically insensitive at a football club. We've had enough PR blunders. We don't need to we don't need to produce any more. You know. So, but as a footballer and a finisher, I think he's a fantastic finisher. I've got to say it. You know?
He is, yeah, good player. He's done very well, hasn't he? Playing. Who's he playing with again? Before he's gone to Fenerbahce, it's Italian club, right? It's Italian club.
He's in France. He's in France. He's in Marseille. That's where De Zerbi was. He was in France with De Zerbi, wasn't he? Marseille.
Sure. I mean, I think he was with Marseille, but I think he moved. I think he moved somewhere.
He may be moving now.
Because we played Marseille, right? No, we played Monaco.
No, we played Monaco.
We played Monaco. Maybe you're right, Adrian. Maybe you're right. Maybe he did play for at Marseille. No, he did. He definitely did play for Marseille. You're right, Adrian. Sorry.
Yeah.
My head there. Forgot that one.
Monaco. Before we got Tonali and Fernandez, I would have took Lamine Camara off them, and I would definitely have took Mainz Aklouche off them. I'd still like us. Don't think we're going to do a deal for another number 10, even though Maddison's our only option as number 10 officially, because I think De Zerbi will see Gallagher as a number 10. They're different styles. So I don't think we'll go for Mainz Aklouche. I'd love that player, actually. You know, Harry didn't slaughter us when we played him in Europe last season. I don't know. Yeah. So, but
yeah. Big up to George in the chat. I'll be happy with Krupi, Leao. Yeah, they may not work, but what forwards are guaranteed to work? Yeah, it's George, man. Listen, this forward line decisions on these players, man. And we can talk about Leao now. Actually, let's move on to Leao, because it was a talking point tonight. As he brought it up, I want to hear a bit Adrian's thoughts, people in the chat's thoughts on Leao. Now I did a little video last night, and to be honest, you know, I'm not sure about him. I mean, I've got some stats I'll bring up on the screen, and maybe we can start off looking at this stats and then kind of talking it from then. This is what I brought up in my video I released last night. So, you know, he started off fantastically for AC Milan, and AC Milan won the league in that season there, 22-23, 48 appearances, 16 goals, 14 assists from a left wing is really good. Followed up with another strong season as well. And then, you know, the past couple of years, you know, the goals and assists have started to decline a bit. Now, for me, I think what I've heard is, and people who watch Italian football know a bit more, but AC Milan have been a bit unstable the last couple of seasons, struggled a bit. And that kind of reflects on kind of Leao as well. Now, Leao, there's a lot of talk when he's not playing well, he's not doing the job, that he's a bit of a lazy player. Sometimes his final ball and his decision making is not great. And he needs a fresh challenge. I mean, years ago, people were talking about this player as like, you know, he's going to be world class. He's not world class. He's kind of in that level, kind of below. Can be very good. He can shine. He can do some amazing things with the ball. He's very direct, dribbler, can take past players, scores goals. But you know, with all these kind of wingers, what wingers are consistent these days? This is the question, Adrian. I'll take this down. Wingers, they're not all of them are consistent. You know, Son had purple patches, right? He'd score in a load of games and he'd go quiet.
About him, but even on that list, very impressive. Still 11 and 4. If you're looking at like a good winger gets a 1 in 4 strike rate. Yeah. And like he's still got that. But a lot of Milan fans say, oh, good, take him. But you know what fans of clubs are like? They're 50-50 on every player. They either love or hate or want to get rid of. So would I take him? On a loan with an option to buy, not a loan obligation to buy, I would take him. That keeps the player on his toes. Right. He's 27 now, so he should be in his prime. Right. Don't know what the situation is at Milan. You just espoused about it, but I mean, I don't know what the situation is at Milan, whether that's Aaron with their team and their players.
Do you know Ruben Abramov's gone there, isn't he? Ruben Abramovich.
When they win the league, right, then you go down the next 2 years. what was the shape of their squad? You know, after they won the league, what was it the second year after the league? What was it the third year after the league? Right. So you need to delve into all that. As a player, he's got it all, but then you can caveat and say, well, he didn't start for Portugal the other day, did he? He came on, didn't start, beat a man a couple of times. So we know he's a fantastic talent. If De Zerbi, look, I'm going to trust De Zerbi on this. If he fancies him, if you said take him over Savinho, no, I'm taking Savinho.
Why would you take Savinho over him?
Right. Okay. My argument has always been goals, and Savinho had fantastic strike rate and assist rate when he was at Girona, right? But come to City, that hasn't happened. A lot of changes at City with players and a change of the system and whatever. But to me, Savinho is not an inverted right-footed winger that plays on the left. Most teams play with inverted wingers that cut into the close space on the corner of the penalty area. Savinho's left-footed and plays on the left wing. Wow. You know, and so with Udogie, if we can get a fit Udogie, he would stretch the width of the pitch. So now you'll get a winger who'll go down the corner flag and put crosses in, which will curl away from the keeper. That doesn't happen with inverted wingers. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen if Spence is playing on the left because he's right-footed and he gets forward. It's not what I want to see. I want to see wingers do that and get that.
So you would take Savinho over Leao, Adrian?
Yeah, I think Savinho's technically superb, and I think that I think De Zerbi would get a real good tune out of him, and he'd like the pace. What he likes in his wingers is pace, right? So, yeah, I would take Savinho. Yeah, I would actually, because one, Savinho has actually done it in the Premier League. He might not have impressed a lot of people in lack of goals, but his technique and like is superb. Both feet, it's superb, right? So. That's the only reason. My concern with Savinho would be lack of goals. I've gone on for like 3 or 4 seasons on podcasts and saying, look, I don't care we got Messi on one wing and Ronaldo on the left, on the other wing. I want wingers who score goals, and they should contribute 1 in 4, basically. Sonny was 1 in 3. Everyone wanted rid of him, right? I'd have kept him for another season. I really would. And but we stayed up last year, so you know. Yeah, so yeah, I would take Savinho over Leao. I would.
Look, yeah, we have to kind of go with De Zerbi, right? If De Zerbi wants him, gonna have to trust him. Every sign is a risk, and these wingers, I mean, yeah, they're not always consistent. It's a risk. I don't know really. Leao, Savinho, which one? They're better than what we've got. So you can't argue with it, Adrian, can you?
Yeah, you can't put it past us getting both. Because
I don't think we'll get both. I don't think
hold on.
So,
yeah, but hold on. Don't just think of the money, right? If it's a loan for Leao, right?
Yeah.
We could get both.
No, but he want to start. He want to start, Adrian. This is the problem with Leao. He want to be guaranteed first team football.
Well, listen, if you're in for a player, I want to start and all that. If your recruitment team should be saying to him, or the manager on the phone should be saying, look, okay. Obviously, are you confident you can earn your place? Now, what player's going to say no? And if he says no, well, sorry, mate, I'm not interested in you.
Fair enough, mate. Yeah, I'll get your view. Yeah, fair enough, man. Seriously, yeah, fair enough. Look, talk a little bit about him a bit more. Evening to James. James is giving me some shit. Look, James. Listen, it's good to be proved wrong. I'm happy. All I want is success at the club. You know, but I am very critical, and yeah, I'm sure you understand that. I mean, ENIC, last 26 years, it's not good enough, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see if this board keep this level of spending up every window, and let's see if this club can go on and actually truly get some success and consistently challenge at the top, win some trophies, keep signing better players every window and improving the squad. And if they can do that over a number of transfer windows, then fair enough. Then maybe they have changed. But I think it's a bit early to kind of think that, you know, they're going to always be like this. And I did another video today as well. And I was just questioning it. It's like, why now? Like, why now? Like, they could have spent this amount of money in previous seasons and they chose not to. Yeah, look, they'll blame Daniel Levy and say that he was running the show. But ENIC are the owners. Like, they give the transfer budget. They give the kind of... I don't know, ambition, what the club wants to achieve. So I don't buy it. I don't buy it that Spurs couldn't have been doing this. I'm not saying
Did you hear?
that 200.
or listen
Adrian,
to-
let me finish, man. Let me finish. I'm not saying after like every season we would expect to spend 250 million, because we don't know if that is even possible. But we all know this club could have been spending a lot more money previously, and they chose not to, and they've made some massive errors. And maybe it's been a bit of a scare for them, almost getting relegated. You know, this changes. Levy's out now, new ambition. But look, let's judge them over a few years, and then that's me. Fans can obviously think and feel how they want, but for me, I'm just a lot more cautious. But big up to you, James. I hope you're good, man. Sorry, Adrian, what are you going to say, buddy?
Well, and then we've had a meltdown in the media, haven't we? Gabby Bonlahor had a meltdown on Talk Shite Radio, didn't he? Right, complaining about Spurs. Right, where was his complaints when Chelsea was spending like $1 billion on their squad, 100 million for like Enzo Fernandez and players like that? Where was the meltdown when Man City were doing it? And when you talk about, it's an unfair advantage, well, Leicester City won the league because they had good recruitment and they did it. And you get a Bonlahor going off about that. These rules were in place to stop clubs from being insolvent. That's what they're there for. And, you know, you have to have 14 out of the teams vote for these rules. So, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm loving it. I'm loving it that they're moaning. I'm loving that our rivals and haters in the media are having a pop. And they're coming out with remarks now like Spurs are having their pants pulled down because we're signing players. Really?
Adrian, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at this sort of stuff, to be honest. This is just,
no, it doesn't surprise me at all.
Football,
I expect it because it's typical of the media.
It's jealousy, isn't it? Because Aston Villa, Newcastle can't spend. But, you know, whatever you say about the club, they know they have got really good revenue streams now, and they've, you know, with all the concerts, NFL, boxing, you know, they're earning a lot on match day, and that's all going into the transfer budget. The problem is it hasn't gone into the transfer budget enough, and the decisions around signings has been more on quantity rather than quality over the years, which has been because they have spent money. Spurs have spent money, but just spent it so badly. And, you know, it's just, look, hopefully things are going to get better now. And this window so far has been, you know, it's been, I'm surprised that they've gone out and spent £200 million. I just never think I never thought it'd happen, mate, honestly.
I don't get it when fans are saying, oh, that's thanks to Daniel Levy being prudent, this, that, and the other. Hang about. But, like, you brought in crap for so many years when Poch wanted, like, new furniture for the stadium. Joe Roden, NG, you know, Nkudu, players like that of that ilk.
Shit right? Over the years.
And now people want to praise Daniel Levy for being prudent because we're in this situation now. Hang about. You should have done it before now. He should have done it before now. So I'm not having that. Like, listen, Levy with the stadium, the training ground, great. Thanks for your service. You know,
Levy should have been
crap. Huh?
Yeah, Levy should have gone years and years ago when Spurs like got into the Champions League, right? And that was great, right? We ain't seen it. We've been in there consistently under Poch, and we didn't push on. And that was just a sign that he doesn't know how to take the club forward. He should have gone then. But then that goes back to Enoch, isn't it? And the ambition and, you know, not making that decision to bring in a better footballing person to run the club. Exactly. You know, so I don't buy all this Levy stuff. Yes, they've done well to build this club up to where it's got to. But come on, man, we nearly got relegated last season. The decisions, and the amount of money we've wasted on signings, on sacking managers, not backing managers. It's been an absolute disgrace by this club. You know, it's been embarrassing. We're a banter club, right? Spursy tag, bad mentality, hiring Conte, Mourinho, giving them shit players. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's going to take me a long time to forget and forgive this lot. And one really good transfer window, I've got to see a lot more. And we've got to go on and actually win things, Adrian, at the end of the day. We've got to go on and actually, you know, be a serious club. Now we've got a huge fan base, massive stadium. We've got some good players. And there's no excuse why we can't be challenging at that top of the league. And it's all about recruitment. It's all about recruitment, and it's getting that recruitment right. And that's why, you know, many fans are still worried that who's running the show there at the club now. Vinay, Lange. I mean, I don't understand how Lange is still in the job after nearly getting relegated 2 seasons. But look, we'll see what happens, Adrian. We could talk about this for hours.
I mean, like, fix the forward line now, right? And then when you go into January the next transfer window, as you've alluded to, you've got to get to a stage where the squad is that good, like a Man City, a Liverpool squad, or a Chelsea squad, or an Arsenal squad, or whatever, that you only need to bring in 1 or 2 in to refreshen it up. Because you can't spend, look, we're realistic, right? You can't spend, we're going to spend over 300 million. We might get 150, 200 million back in sales, believe it or not, as ridiculous as that might seem. But you can't spend that in every transfer window, right? So obviously, like, if we get the left winger and the striker in, that might be our business done. I would like to think we get 2 wingers and a striker, and then our business is done. And if it's done well before the window, I know we're all greedy for more and more and more and more. That's the nature of the beast of the fans, right? But
Adrian, let me bring something up, because I feel there's a lot of work to do with this squad, right? Let me show you something which I did maybe a month ago now. Could be maybe not that long, but I went over the squad and went over the sort of player positions that we need. Let me see if I've got it still on my laptop here. Hold on, let's have a little look here and see if I've still got it. Squad planning here. It needs a little bit updating because there has been some changes since. But for me, I did this before some of the signings started coming in. So I do think we need a new goalie long term. Maybe Kingsley will be the man next season. We'll wait and find out, because that looks like they're going with him anyway. So yeah, I can understand them filling that. And then if it's not, we need a better goalkeeper than Dubravka. So we do need to get a better goalkeeper long term anyway to compete with Kingsley. I still think we need a long-term left back. Robertson's not going to be here for the long term. Doggy, I don't.
VDV can play at left back.
Yeah, I know.
You Doggy. I think we've got enough cover there.
There is enough cover, but ideally, if we were really going to improve this team, we needed a top left back. And Doggy is unreliable for me. He's inconsistent. He's one of the worst crossers in the league. And he's got a lot to prove still. Maybe De Zerbi with his coaching will improve him, but he's got to stay fit. Then you've got Robertson there. He's not the same player as he was when he was playing in Liverpool under Klopp. He is on the decline. Yes, he brings in a wealth of experience, very great professional, will help others around in the dressing room. But I don't want a cheerleader. I want a top performing left back in the team. So I'm disappointed with the Robertson signing. But hey, they've gone with it now, and we'll see how it goes. Van der Ven there, got left centre back with Senesi there. Great. Them 2 positions are filled now, right? You got cover. Yeah, your left centre back sorted. Then you've got Van Hecker coming in. Romero, we don't know what's going to go on with him. He'll probably be sold. And then you've got a backup of Danso, which really doesn't really suit De Zerbi's system. So I think we're going to need another kind of passing centre back if we sell Romero. Porro Spence at right back. Bentancur, I think we'll stick with next season to play, with Fernandez and Tonali, but he won't be starting Bentancur. He will be coming off the bench and covering injuries.
And you've got Gallagher as well. That's without Gray. Well, I think we'll stay. I think actually we will sell Bergvall, I think. But go on, Karen.
I think possibly, Bergvall will go. Or he needs a loan.
And Sarr will go as well.
Sarr we can sell as well, I think. Yeah, not good enough. And then we've got kind of that number 10 role. Madison will be definitely starting. Xavi will be back not until next year. So, yeah, we probably could do with another number 10. Kulusevski, who knows what sort of condition he's going to be like when he comes back. We'll have to wait and see. He's in contract still. No one's going to sign him because of, he's just coming back from a long-term injury. But we're going to need to probably replace Kulusevski after a while. I always thought Kulusevski was an inconsistent player anyway. Kudos as a right winger.
He's my favourite Spurs player. Of all the players, he's my favourite. I mean, he's kicking. He's on the grass now, kicking. He looks okay. He just needs to test the knee, basically, in a game.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see with him. Yeah, he's not going anywhere, so he's going to be part of the squad. And so, yeah, he'll be playing on that right when Kudos is not playing, I guess. So, yeah, I think longer term we need another right winger. We need a left winger.
Definitely.
and we need a centre forward. And looking at the squad, and I don't think all these positions are going to be filled in one window, right? You know, we've got to build this. It's going to take time. It's going to take a number of transfer windows to get it right. But longer term, you want two quality players in each position, don't you? Really, and it's going to take time. And look at the sell list, Adrian. There's so many players that I want gone. Radu's gone now. Basuma's left. Sarr, we need to move on. I have a feeling that he's going to keep Gray because he's a bit of a utility player. But I think Bergvall will probably be sold or loaned out. I'm more than happy to sell him. And Richarlison's got to move on. But look, this is just me. This is what I think.
I'm
maybe
definitely
you, Adrian.
Gray. It's me. And
Yeah.
Udogie, I am a big fan of Udogie. It's just his injury problems that have caused it. I just think he's a tank. I mean, I just think he's an absolute tank on the left when he's fit. I am a real big fan of him, and I am of Gray as well. I've watched Gray's career though from his time at Leeds as well. So maybe I see a bit more in Gray. Well, obviously I do. I see a lot more in Gray than some fans see. So,
look, Adrian, we're always going to agree or disagree on players. You know, that's normal, isn't it? Really, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, we have different opinions on players, and that's what it is. That's just what makes discussions interesting, right? Because we could go back and forth. But we had the Udogie conversation a few weeks ago, so we won't go there. Just to go to the chat a little bit here. Hold on a second. Tom's saying to James, I remember you saying that your son didn't know who to get on the back of his shirt. Would he get DANalyst now? Yeah, let us know, James. I'm sure he's probably answered it in the chat. George says, hit the like button, everyone. You'll be happy. Yeah, it does. Hit the like button. Just helps us out on YouTube. More likes. It gets sent out to more people. So yeah, if you could smash the like button, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Big up to everyone in the chat. James says last season he played as a centre forward under a defensive manager. How did he get on? Let's have a little look here. You're talking about your son, James, I think, or you're talking about Spurs. I'd rather have Harvey Barnes than Leao. Look, Harvey Barnes is a proven player, isn't he? Proven Premier League player. But I don't think in Newcastle are going to sell any more players to us now. I don't think that Guimaraes, I heard today, wants to leave. They're all kind of wanting to go now, and they're just kind of bringing in kids now in Newcastle. If you look at their transfers, they're bringing in younger players, so maybe they're taking a different approach. I don't know.
They've got Hall or Ramento, haven't they? You know, so they'll be okay. They'll buy. You know, that players been sold, they're able to buy.
Let's go to the chat because I wanted to go over some chat about Leao and our winger situation. Look at the right backs in the Premier League. Leao is physically much stronger and better than them. If he is hungry, he will smash them. You know, this is what he has to do if he does come to Spurs. And I think a loan move in the first season with an option to buy would be the best way forward to see how he gets on rather than just buy him outright. I think he's got a bit to prove. And what I don't like about his stats, and I know it's not straightforward because you don't really know what's been going on with AC Milan, is that you don't want a player whose stats are declining. You want them either to keep on that level or improve, right? And at the age of 27, he's in his peak years. So a few concerns with Leao, but I think Spurs are desperate for those kind of players that are going to get us off our seats. And I think Leao is definitely a player who can do that. But again, it is a risk. Yeah, I think it's very divided, that player. I'm not going to go over some comments in a minute. Let's have a little look and see if there's any more comments about look at this. Let's have a look here. Exactly. Look at Saka. He is consistent. Yeah, that's true. Evening to Connor. How you doing, Connor? Hope you're well, man. Let's have a little look if there's any other comments about Leao in the chat there. I just wanted to make sure I covered in here. There's someone comments on a video I did as well I want to read out. I'm going to bring them up in a minute because there's different opinions across the fan base with Leao. Let's have a look. David Clark, evening, David. How you doing? We should buy right back from Atlanta. Real Bellanova. Never heard of him, man. You watched him? Good player, was he? Not heard him myself.
I've looked at the right back, the Torino, the Croatian guy on the right. Looks decent player. But
James is challenging your opinion here, Adrian. Savinho in Spain played most of the game. Right wing, what are we doing here? I don't know. I can't remember. I'd have to go and have a look at his stats.
He can play. He's left-footed. You want to see him on the left. If
He
we're
has been
bringing a
played on the
winger
right,
in,
hasn't he?
and we're bringing a winger in to play on the left. We've got Kudus and Kulusevski on the right.
Yeah. I think we need to, if he's going to come in, Savino's got to be left. He's got to be left, and he's got to keep playing every week. I think Guardiola had him on the right, didn't he? So yeah. Big up to Igor. Evening to you.
I'll ping him on the left of City.
Yeah, but I think it wasn't always on the left. It kind of was on the left, on the right.
Well,
I think
watch every City game. You know what I mean? But I mean,
yeah,
like,
that's what I heard anyway. But you can look into the data, and that will tell you. I'll take them both to the club. Big up, fellas. He says. James says Leo is rapid. Yeah, he is definitely rapid. Evening to Lee. How you doing, Lee? Hope you're good, buddy. Hello, everyone. Some signings. Well, not signings, but kind of players. Who is that? Shidid Dupe, the Norway left winger. Who? Yeah, this is the player who created the goal for Haaland, isn't he? Yeah, he came off the bench. Yeah, he had a little bit of skill there, didn't he? And put that ball in. So England have got to watch him at the weekend. But yeah, I don't know him. I've never heard of the player. I've got to be honest. I have to look into him a little bit more. Maybe his stock's going to rise after this World Cup if Norway get through. You know, I don't know. Young player. Have a look at it. Otherwise, Gakpo or Damsgaard left side for me. Interesting.
He's at Leipzig.
Interesting choices.
He's at Leipzig. I'm sure he is.
David says Savino is like McDonald's, just no end product. His stats for City are not great the last couple of seasons.
Fair point with regard to the goals, but Girona, his stats were fantastic, and Girona are like a bit of a sister-owned club for Man City anyway, so they get the first pick on their players. Yeah, I'll still take him. I would take him over what's been mentioned so far. I really would, because at least he's played in the Premier League.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll have to wait and see who comes in. And we don't even know. Maresca might want to keep Savino. Do you know what I mean? We don't know. He's only just come into the club, so he's probably working out who he wants to keep, who he wants to move on.
They've got so many options on the wing at Man City.
They do. In Dye, I think you mean Everton can play left wing. Maybe him. His stats are not great though. I had a look at him the other day. You know, good player on the day, but his stats are not great. I think we can do better.
Well, on that, Dan, you make a good point, because people are going, oh, Matoma, go and get Matoma. Ring about. He scored 3 goals last year. That's not good enough.
That's why it's not an easy decision, this, is it? I know there's plenty of money to spend at Spurs still, but they've got to get it right, haven't they? They've got to get it right, and we just don't know who their number 1 target, number 2 target is.
Mourinho could really kick on and score goals, you know?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
My belief, you know, for what it's worth.
We'll see. James says, so you want goals and you would take Savino over Leao,
yes, I would,
who scores goals.
Yeah, because at least he's shown he can hold his own in the Premier League. And Leao, you look at Milan and their fans, all right, subjective. So do you take notice of what they feel or not? Because all clubs are the same when it comes to players and fans' opinions on them. But because Savino's done it in the Premier League, for me, I'll definitely take him. But we might take both. We might get Leao on loan if what I'm hearing is true. But
evening, Danny.
Right, Danny.
How you doing, man? How you doing?
Come on, Danny. Come on.
Bit of banter
Links
in the chat here. Links to the chat. Yeah, anyone's welcome to jump on and join the show. Join the fun. Come on, get involved with the chat. Let's go for a couple more comments. I wanted to read out a couple of comments I had on my video I did as well. So let me get to them in a minute. Just wanted to see if there's any more comments about the L. But evening to Jessica. How you doing, Jessica? What's going on about everybody cried when Chelsea and City bought players? I just ignore it. Just don't let it get to you. Honestly, you know, I can't be. I'm not going to get upset by what they're going on about. Do you know what I mean? But a lot of people are. It's winding them up, isn't it? It's a lot of back and forth on social media about Aston Villa, Newcastle, clubs having to go at Spurs spending. Yeah, crazy stuff, but not surprised. Just want to make sure I hit the, hold on a second. What's this? Hiring Frank, this team. What was that 20 mil? Yeah, that's how much we paid for them. And then how much did we lose when we had to sack them all? Crazy stuff. Let's have a look at here. Sonny saying we're still buzzing. We'll get 3 more. I'll be well chuffed. Okay, look, let's just read a couple of comments out I got about the hour of my video. I haven't had a chance to respond to. Let me just
Do
bring
you
these
like
vid-
him, Dan? Do you like him?
Who's that?
Leal.
Who? Liao, what I've seen of him, he's definitely got talent, but it's that I'm worried about his inconsistencies, and he's a bit lazy as well. I think it's all about De Zerbi, isn't it? Can De Zerbi get him back consistent like in his early days at AC Milan? That will be the question here. Let's bring in Scott. Scott, how you doing, buddy? How are you?
Good, guys. How are you?
All right, Scott. How you doing, babe?
Yeah, thanks for joining us, mate. Did you want to say anything, Scott? I'm just looking up some comments about Liao. What's your thoughts on Liao, mate? Would you take him?
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts, I think you've probably heard about left wing, is there's nobody who's like a perfect option out there, right? So we're going to have to take somebody who we're worried about. Savinho, I love the talent, but I'm worried about how much goals that he's going to produce, and I think we really need goals. Liao, I think the talent is there. You know that the output is there, but everybody says how lazy he is as a player. And so that's a risk. Krupi, I know he's not necessarily a left wing, so if you're going to talk about him, later let me know. But like, I think everything I hear about him, you watch his highlights, awesome. But he's 19 with one season, right? But he did produce 13 goals, and that's something that why I'm a little bit more willing to take on a young player like him who's actually done something versus the young players that we have that we hope do something. So
yeah,
I would be willing to take the risk with Liao because I think
loan. Would you say loan, Scott, at the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you can get him on loan, sure, it's always why not take it. With a player of his age, I'd be more wanting to take the young players, maybe buy him straight out so you have them right there, right? But
yeah,
if it's a loan, sure. If we buy him, sure, whatever. Like, if he's somebody that fills a need, I'm not so much worried. If we buy people that fill a need, I like it. If we buy players and they still don't fill a need, that's where my main complaints come in, which is, again, what we've done with Solanke and Richarlison in the past is we bought them and we still needed a striker. That's really the problem, right? But Liao comes in. He's our left wing. He's your left wing for 35 games a season. You want him there. So if we take him for a loan, great. If we actually buy him outright, I'm fine with that as well.
Fair enough. Let's bring in Danny, mate. How you doing, Danny? How are you? Are you there, Danny?
Hello, sorry, I was on mute. I was trying to get the unmute button because it was my PC's frozen. I'm good. How are you guys?
Yeah, you're hot, man. Is it hot over there in Holland?
It is. It's not as hot as it is in the UK though, at the moment. In the UK, it's a lot hotter. So I'm glad that it's not as hot because we got up to 38, I think, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. It's like 38 degrees. The hottest it's ever been in the country ever recorded. It's like yeah, that was insane heat.
How'd you cool down out there, mate? How are you cooling down? Going
go
to swim in the canal?
Yeah. Literally, go to swim in the canals. Yeah. I'll go with some friends. I went twice actually, not long ago.
Yeah, it's mad.
It's good fun. Yeah, it's good. It's good because there's so many places in Amsterdam where I live, but I go meet my friends or they live in a different part. Yeah, go for a swim or just chill by the on the grass or wherever we go. There's always places to chill, so it's nice.
Yeah, lovely place, Amsterdam. I've been there a couple of times, man. I've always enjoyed myself when I've gone there.
It is. if you of course, I can bet you. I bet you. But you should go in the summer. Summer is beautiful to come in the summer. It really is.
Yeah. Fair enough, man. What's your thoughts on Liao, mate? Are you a fan or not a fan?
Do you know? I'll be honest with you. At first, I was like, I didn't want him because I thought, I thought about like his inconsistencies and obviously his trajectory has been a little bit of well, it's been down. It's been going downward the last couple of years. But having said that, when we actually look at like what we actually have currently, he is levels above what we actually have. In terms of output, and he will give you output. I don't doubt that he will give you output from goals and assists. Whether or not maybe he's just got stale at AC Milan. I think the fact that they've kind of been regressing as a club hasn't helped. I mean, when Tonali was there with him, they won the league, right? And then literally shortly after that, Tonali left, and then they just kind of started regressing as a football club. So and then I was listening to Iggy who goes on from Tottenham Away or Spurs Corner, and he was saying how maybe it is just a change of scenery, and I think there was a lot of issues with Leao in terms of his mentality. He's never been someone who is really could reach the top, but if he can give you even like look, I think with Leao, I would take him with like Scott said, I would take him if it's a loan with an obligation to buy a loan. I would take him if it was if we had to buy him outright, because I do think with the team that De Zerbi's building, and I think if De Zerbi has a conversation with him and can kind of get that like the motivation back into him, and like you just said, Dan, if we can get the Leao from a couple years ago, I know it's easier said than done. It's like the dream scenario.
Yeah, and hasn't he played under De Zerbi?
I don't think he's played under De Zerbi. No, I don't think he has.
Nah,
I don't think
he came from
under De Zerbi.
Lille, wasn't it? Lille. He went from Lille to AC Milan, I think.
Yeah, I think so. But I do know that Iggy was saying that De Zerbi, well, he obviously came through the ranks in the academy at AC Milan, right? So I'm sure that he's spoken to Tonali about him. I'm sure that they're having conversations internally, and if they decide to pull the trigger on him, it's a little bit like what Adrian said. Why not both him and Savio? Because Savio then covers you for the right wing as well.
I'm on the loan to buy, not an obligation, because that keeps the player on his toes. If he really wants to come to our club, right, loan to buy, we'll pay the wages, right? You come, you show what you can do, because like then we know if you're fit for the Premier League or not, right? He hasn't made the Portuguese starting lineup, right? So that's very telling. So why not? Why did he start? You know?
It's true, but let's be honest. I mean, Roberto Martinez is an absolutely shocking manager.
Manager.
He's shocking. He destroyed the Belgium.
They cut the Wigan.
Yeah, but I mean, look what he had at the Belgium golden generation. He completely flopped there, and he's completely flopped for Portugal. But for me,
we had a golden generation that flopped as well, though, Dan.
Yeah, no, true. But I mean, look with Leao, the way I look at it now is that we, as a football club, as a fan base, we should love to see someone like Leao come through, because we haven't seen a winger who can give us even 10 goals in a season since Son was in more of his prime, right? And I think he could definitely give you that and a bit more, right? So the idea of where we want to be as a football club, we have to gradually increase the level of the players in the squad, right? Now, if you look at it, right, if anyone told you that at the end of last season that our lineup starting could be Matheus Fernandes, Tonali, Leao, Krupi, Kudus, Maddison, right? You'll be saying, fuck off, have a day off, mate. Like, you wouldn't believe it, right? So to go from that to that, I think would be a dream scenario. And then we see how we do this season, and then we kick on again. But I do agree with you, Adrian. I think we should get both. Like, I think Spurs can do it too.
I'm with you. I'm definitely with you on the fact, because I said to Dan early before you come on, that look, you know, I mean, like, we could bring the stats up in Leao, but they won the league in 1 year. And then suddenly, like Napoli won the league. And look, Carrot, whatever, I can't pronounce his name.
Kvaratskhelia.
He went, didn't he? Osimhen went. Thought, what happened there? Right? So we don't know what happened to Milan. They dropped off the pace. But even like 2-3 seasons later, his numbers aren't that bad. Right?
No, it's not.
But
And he's
11 goals in Forest is still very good for a winger. It's very good. 1 in 4 is a very good strike rate, right?
He's a proven contributor, Adrian.
In that league, right? So the only doubts we have when we bring in a foreign player, and God knows we've brought in some bad foreign players into this football club. Right?
Just because you put your finger in your butt doesn't mean you're going to find pudding there, buddy. Come on. Put it in the butt.
This is why.
Hello?
For me, it's loan to buy, not obligation. I wouldn't have a loan obligation. Make the player prove himself, Dan, you know?
Sorry about that, guys. I don't know.
He's 27. He should be in his prime. Yeah,
Adrian, I don't know what just happened there. This is what you got to be careful with YouTube, man.
Do you know who that was?
No idea. I just
Who
thought,
cares?
go on, mate.
Move on quickly.
Yeah, move on quickly.
But yeah, look, Liao, I would take him in a heartbeat. I do think that he's going to add a lot. The fact that he's played with Tonali, and I think, look, if there's going to be anyone right now who's going to motivate him, right, or to try and get him back to a higher level, right, and then you change the scenery and new goals, new motivation, being in London, in the stadium the stadium we have, and everything else. I think it could be a great thing for us. Look, even if he gives us what he gave AC Milan last season, it's still levels above what Tel and Odeberg are giving us right now. So yeah, I'd take that right now than what we have. Did you want to add something, Scott?
And I'm not usually one to say that I'll back the manager blindly, but this is one where I would say, like, we don't have the inside information, right? We hear from Iggy, who's got a lot of information. Danny watches a lot of Serie A, but I would trust De Zerbi, who will get more information about what kind of personality, what are the personality issues are. And if De Zerbi feels comfortable that he can work with him, then I'll probably defer that way to him, right? I'll defer when it's those attitude issues. I usually will tend to defer with the manager because they know better what they can work with. And I don't think De Zerbi is going to be like, what do you mean this Liao has attitude problems, right? He knows just as well as we do what the issues are, and he'll know whether that's a player that he can work with or a player that he wants no part of. So that's the other thing that I would say. I don't think De Zerbi is going to bring him in if he thinks those attitude problems are going to be an issue for him or the club.
Guys, Danny, what's your take on? There's a lot of noise surrounding Jed Spence. And Dan brought it up earlier. Do you think it's justified or not?
What about Jed Spence? What, as in him leaving?
Well, whether he's good enough for us. He's picked for England, so
Everton are interested. That's what's reported, but I don't know how true it is.
I don't like Jed Spence as a player overall. I would sell him. I think really what we've seen, even with England, his best role is playing as a defensive left back, because I think he's better defensively when he's playing on the left. But because he can't go forward, so whether he's playing right back or he's not great going forward as a left back, I agree, but he's not really good going forward as a right back either. He was a winger.
So. As a kid, he was a right winger.
But we've seen him in Premier League. He doesn't go forward well at all.
I don't like right-footed players playing on the left. I don't like it. Right? I don't like inverted wingers. I like my wingers to go down to the corner flag, curl the ball away from the goalkeeper. Right? This is one of these new Ponzi things that has happened in this game, like invert the wingers because they cut into the closed space, get a shot off. I get you're narrowing the space between the winger and the striker to try and play him in. I get all that, but I don't like it personally.
Go on, Scott. No, go for it, mate.
I only say play him on the left because he's better defensively when he's playing on his left, and he can't go forward whether he's playing on the right or the left. I just think that with his attitude, having him as a backup isn't a great idea, or a sub, whatever you want, a depth player, because Porro is going to be starting at the right. He's going to be the main starter.
How many times do we see when we make a break down the left-hand side, right? Whether it's like Spence, right, that he wants to cut in, so the left winger, or if he's not a right inverted foot winger, is it's cut out the game completely. We're not getting the width. We're not stretching the width of the pitch. This is one reason why I like Savinho, right? Because he will do that. I'm not saying he's the answer. I don't know. But me and Danny are in agreement on, I would take them both in that case, because I think you could get Liao on loan and you could buy Savinho, who's 21, who's got a high ceiling. And the kid is technically superb. So I would take him. But I don't. Too much of this. I'm old school. I want players that are right-footed in right-footed positions, players that are left-footed in left-footed positions. I'll leave it there.
Even if he's right back, I would sell. I think sell him, move him on. I don't think he's the kind of player you want not playing all the time. He seems like somebody who would not be happy with it, and so I just think move him on. If there's money to be made.
Fine. Who are you
move
bringing
him
in?
On and bring someone in who makes more sense for us.
Who are you bringing in?
I haven't really looked to see the right back market.
My
I like
So
Van
I'm-
Nistelrooy. I've always liked Van Nistelrooy at Monaco, but I mean, like the Brazilian fullback. But
yeah, that's who I'd bring in. There's also like
you
players
like him
like
as well. Okay, fair enough.
I do like Vanderson. I think he's good. He's a good player. He can also play as a left back if needed. But I mean, look, with Jed Spence, I also agree with Scott. I think he's better as a defender on the left than he is on the right. And going forward, even on the right, when he has played there, he hasn't looked great. And whether or not it's because he hasn't had a consistent run of games as a right back, it remains to be seen. But for whatever reason, multiple managers are playing him on the left rather than they play him on the right.
Good point, Danny. Actually, because we need to see before we start saying getting rid of him, and him. We need to see if De Zerbi thinks he can get a tune out of players. Some Spurs fans think I'm not happy about him.
I think there's other priorities, guys, with Jed Spence. I think there's other players that's going to be shifted out.
Can I just quickly finish the point? I just want to quickly finish the point with Spence. With Spence, look, I am not in a rush to sell Jed Spence. I think like he because he can cover both spots, so he might not be the best right back or left back, but he is a defensive player. He's pretty decent. He's pretty good. But I would sell him if the money was right. Like if it was £25 million, I would say no. If you're looking at upwards of 35-40 million, then I'd probably look to sell him because I think you can go and get a replacement for that sort of money.
Only if we had a replacement in line that want to come already.
Well, I'm sure De Zerbi. I think the biggest thing for De Zerbi right now is technical ability on the ball, and I think and also the attitude. Right, he's a very passionate man, and I think with Spence, you just get that sense of arrogance with him, right? And like he thinks he's in the England squad, like he's made it, like to be.
I get, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? To be at that level, right? Like look what he did, how he treated Thomas Frank, right? Look how he treated him. Do you think De Zerbi would take that? Like if
he wouldn't.
A player like Spence did. Yeah, if he did that to De Zerbi, he's done. Like he's done. And the problem is what we're trying to create now is I know people don't want to hear it, but we want to try and create what Arteta created, that kind of unity, that family feel. And that's exactly what Poch created at Spurs when we had our best time under Poch. And I think you need the same again. You need a unity. And if you've got players who think they should be starting or they're better than who's in front of them or they're not getting a fair run or fair crack, then like Scott said, he's someone that will cause a problem in the dressing room, and it'll affect other players. So on that basis, if De Zerbi thinks that
you've got a bad apple,
even if De Zerbi thinks £30 million or £25 million is fine to get rid of him, then I trust that De Zerbi is going to bring in someone who's going to replace it. And there are players like look at Munoz, the Colombian right back at Crystal Palace. He's a brilliant. I know he's a bit older, but
wing
still,
back, isn't he? He's a wing back, right?
He is a wing back. Yeah, he is. But also a lot of people have been talking about I can't remember his name. The Brentford right back. He's Italian.
Coyote.
Yes, him. Yeah, him. He's a beast as well.
I would have taken Denzel Dumfries, a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, I think he's got.
Munoz would be great if he's willing to come in. He's a really fun player to watch. He's especially even for Colombia. He's been great for them.
He's been one of their best players. Yeah. But I do like the Brentford right back because he's young, but he's very good defensively. He's not too bad attacking. He's all right. But he's also Italian as well, and he's big. He's a unit.
Is he Italian? Is he?
Yeah, he's Italian. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I don't like this comment from Ashraf. Unfortunately, Gomes says he wants out of Newcastle. Arsenal will win for him 60 million, man. It's quite low, right? But I guess his age. I mean, look.
I think it's going to be more, Dan. I think Romano came out and said they rejected a second bid of 65, and the next bid will be between that and 90 million. I think is more likely.
Newcastle.
How old is he? Because that has a bearing on price.
27, I think. 27, 28.
He's prime then, isn't he? You can give him
Tonali's
a-
younger, isn't he? How old is Tonali? 26.
26, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Guimaraes is how old is he?
28.
Oh yeah, 28. Yeah.
He ain't going for 100 mil at 28.
No, it'd be more like 80 million or something like that. 70, 80 million, I reckon.
75, I think, of that age.
It is.
Oh, and he's 29 this year in quite a few months.
No, that ain't happening. No, 70 mil max.
Yeah, something like that.
I know you say you don't like that comment, Dan, but it is
That
something
price,
when
we should go for him. We should go for him at that price.
he's not coming here.
No.
Yeah.
I am worried because we talk a lot about there's not chaos, but a new manager at City, a new manager at Liverpool. We have a new manager, United, not fully new, but Carrick's only been in the position for half a season, right? And we talk about all that and maybe how Spurs can take advantage. My real concern is the only team that you don't talk about who has a little bit of uncertainty at the top is Arsenal. And I think as much as we like to think about how Spurs can take advantage of it, it might be Arsenal that takes advantage of it this season.
They have a steady manager, whereas we've got a new one. That's all them.
Yeah, that's what I mean, Aid. A lot of people are saying Spurs can take advantage.
With Man City with 115 plus charges, and we don't know what's going to happen with Chelsea with their 74 plus charges. They got off the league charges, but they haven't got off the FA ones. So we don't know what's going to happen there. It's totally bent, though, isn't it? I mean, like when you look at the deductions that Forest and Everton got for minor financial irregularities, and like they got punished with points deductions, and it just stinks, doesn't it? It just stinks.
Until I see somebody actually give City a punishment, I'm just going to believe that they're going to keep getting off.
Yeah.
It seems like everybody agrees. It's not any doubt that they did it, and they keep getting off because they have lawyers who get them off, and part because I think they bring so much money.
Man City and Pellegrini with them. That's how far it goes back. And UEFA couldn't do them because they've got a statute of limitations of 5 years, and then it dies. Whereas the Premier League haven't got no statute of limitations. So
The problem is, it's a bit like FIFA, right? They're corrupt. So if you think about it, why is it that Man City haven't been the penalty hasn't been announced yet, or what the verdict is on what happened? And that was 22 months ago the trial was done, or something like that. So, and the reason is because the Man City are an attractable, let's call it entertainment show, right, for the Premier League. So they help bring in the numbers, which helps bring in more revenue, right? Just like why if you looked at Argentina, there was an Argentina game against Egypt. They had 800 million views for that game, right? Whereas just comparing Bad Bunny when he played at recently on TV or whatever it was, there was like 600 million views, just for example, right? So it just goes to show like the amount of money that's involved when you're getting those kind of views. It's why these organizations are corrupt. So I would be surprised if Man City just get a slap on the wrist with a fine, or they might get like a 1 year transfer window ban. But I don't think they'll get any.
Really get a massive transfer embargo, plus a massive points deduction as well. Justice.
Well, if they did, they'd be relegated.
You're right about the corruption, Danny. I mean, like all that FIFA corruption was set black. What happened? What was the repercussions? Who was the poor sod that took the rap for it? It was same with like UEFA and Platini and all that. What happened with all that? It all sort of got swept under the carpet.
Well, look at Infantino with Trump. I mean, how corrupt can you get? It's ridiculous.
Exactly.
Where's Scott gone? Where's Scott gone? He was talking about Arsenal or something. I mean, we're not competing for the league next season, so I don't really. We've got a long way to go, haven't we? Really, to start worrying about Arsenal. I mean, hopefully we'll be more competitive in the matches.
They've got a settled squad, settled manager. All the other teams haven't. All got new managers. Carrick,
it's going to be a mad one.
Us with De Zerbi, we don't know we're going to perform. We're all sort of thinking, we're all dreaming now because we've brought in these players. We know they're going to bring more in, so we're dreaming. And that's what you want. That's what you want. A lot of Spurs fans want the season to start tomorrow. And hold your horses. Let's get a couple more players in first. You know what I mean? But I think De Zerbi wants them in before pre-season, which starts Friday, for players that haven't been involved in the World Cup and all that, because they're entitled to their 2 weeks off. Right? So he'll want them in early, which is good. And after the final on the 19th, there's still 6 weeks for the transfer window left. And we have arranged a few more
Adrian, you think we can get Champions League football, don't you? Didn't you say that the other day?
Yeah, I think we can get 5th. And the reason I base it on it's not like I'm always glass 2/3 full, right? Not half empty or whatever. The reason I base that on, right, is just looking at last season when we were absolute pants at home. We won 3 home games. If we had won 4 more home games, now is it too much to ask us to win like 7 home games, right? We would have got European football.
Yep.
That's what I base it on, right?
We had one of the best away records, didn't we?
Yeah. Our away record was better than a home record, much better. So on that basis, I think, okay. And I was people saying before this window, where are we going to finish? Before this window, I went 6th or 7th. I think we'll get Europa League. I think confidently say we'll get, at worst way, 7th. We'll get Europa League. And I'll take that because we can win that competition every year we're in it, right? So, but then we get DANalyst and we get Fernandes in. And I'm thinking like, I'm sitting up and going like, whoa, hang on.
Adrian, slow down. So say if we don't make Champions League, what you're saying now, what would you say then?
I'll take Europa League because we're not winning the Champions League. PSG are the best team on this planet, right? We're not winning the Champions League. It brings a lot of money in for the club from the club. It's fantastic. But 6th or 7th, and we go in the Europa League, you're having a laugh. We're winning that. We're winning that easy. You know what I mean? We're going to put an extension on the trophy cabinet, right? We're getting that easy. And that's if we don't nick a domestic trophy as well, League Cup or FA Cup.
And then what the club needs to do then, say if we qualify for you, what does the club need to do then? It needs to strengthen again. You know, we're obviously going to have other problems again, aren't we? Like we've had the previous seasons, qualifying for Europe, not having a squad to compete in both competitions. This is what we don't know right now.
I've seen this before, right? In '78, when Argentina won the World Cup, when we brought in our dealers and Vila, and then in 1980. We got Crooks and Archibald in. Crooks was 600 grand and Archibald was 800 grand. And we kicked on. I'm smelling the same thing now. We've got DANalyst and Fernandes in. We need to fix the forward line. We fix the forward line, other teams are not going to want to play us.
I think if we were to get, just say, for example, we were able to get a Krupi, we got Savinho and Leao, right? I don't have any doubts that we can get top 5. But one game a week.
Now we're talking, Dan.
I think we're going to be dark horses, and I know that it sounds optimistic, but when you go from
Danny, let me push back a bit because Danny, you were talking last season about the squad being shit, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of those players are still here. Yeah, I know we've shifted out a couple. How are we going from 17th to, we should make top 5? How does that work in your eyes?
Oh, when you look at the players that we're bringing in, that's how I would see it. Like, if we, at the moment, we've made an amazing start, and I don't think it's done yet. But if you go from transforming your whole first 11, pretty much, literally your whole first 11, except Porro and Van der Ven and maybe Udogie, everyone else will be new, right? But Kudus hasn't played all year round. And look, when you look at the players, for me, it's the players that he's brought in, and hopefully will still bring in. For me, they are levels above what we had from the last season. And look, I said this as well. Like the problem we had last season was that we had, well, for number one, we had European competition and we didn't improve the squad enough. And number two, we had so many injuries. We had even more injuries than the season before. And then I kept banging on about this last year, was that when you take away 85 goal and assist contributions and you don't replace them, then how do we expect to be at the same level? Now, I'm not saying that Krupi is going to if we were just hypothetical, if we were to get Krupi, Savio, and just say Madison's fit, and we've got Liao there. It's not to say that those 5 players with Kudus as well. And
is there enough goals there? Is there enough goals with all those players? You think?
I don't know, but I'm just going on what I feel and what I believe. I just think that the players that are there, I think you're going to see different from a lot of the players, because I don't think any of us truly know how De Zerbi wants to line this team up and how he wants them to play. And I think they're going to be a whole lot better than what we've seen. Purely
Makes some good points, Dan. I mean, and even on Tonali and Fernandes, right? Love them. Fantastic, right? But as much as Spurs fans have criticised Madison and Kulusevski or tried to compare them.
Oh, and Kulu as well, yeah.
They chipped in with 22 goals, right? Now, you can't knock that. If you're looking at players, you should look like what they contribute, what they bring to the team, right? They're in midfield. Now, I
wouldn't put money on it though, Adrian. I wouldn't put money on those two. Not now, not after the injuries. I wouldn't put money on them repeating them.
You don't know. Madison will score you goals. Kulu will score you goals and get you assists, right?
Yeah.
As much as I love Tonali and Fernandes, right? The 4 in front of them have really got to start scoring goals. And obviously they've got to chip in with some and your centre backs and whatever as well, right back, left back as well. But they've got to chip in. When we finished second in the league, we scored 86 goals. In the 7 seasons Man City won the Premier League, 2 of those seasons they scored 100 goals, right? Where are we getting 86 goals from? Where are we getting 86 goals? This is why I've always moaned about, as much as I like Savinho, or when it reproduces his form at Girona, right? And even Kudus. Good players, right? Okay, so you've got a winger that doesn't score goals, another winger doesn't. We're expecting your number 9 to score 40 goals a season. It's not going to happen, right? So, De Zerbi with his team and the way he sets us up, we'll see, won't we? I mean, like,
I think Adrian, just to add, right? I think that because you don't have like a Son or a Harry Kane. I think the idea is that he's going to try and have a balanced team, because I think the problem we've had over the years is we haven't had balance, right? So if you balance the distribution of goals and assists between everyone in the team, then you've got a chance of getting the amount of goals. But the biggest thing for me, the only reason I'll say this, if our players, we don't have like a major injury laden season again, right? Then I think we'll get Champions League football, right? If we have massive injury problems where we have like 1 or 2 of our main players go out injured and we can't cope because the squad is still not strong enough, then of course, then it's going to be more difficult. But I'm only basing top 5 based on the hypotheticals that we do get those 3 players that I mentioned come in, or of that ability, and we have a season where we don't have major injuries, because that's going to be the key for Spurs this season.
It's a lot of
I agree with what
so
you said at
maybes,
first,
isn't
Danny.
there?
Of course.
I agree with what you said when you said we are buying players that are levels above what we have. 100%. We are buying players levels above what we have. When people start talking about Champions League, and really for me, higher than 6th place, the only thing I'll say is we're not buying players that are levels ahead of those teams that are in the Champions League, right? We're just trying to catch up to them. And because you can't do everything in a window, like keeper and left back, we're way, way, way behind them. So I think we're doing great. Again, we're buying players, we're improving our squad. But for me to get ahead of City, Liverpool, Arsenal, United, Chelsea, those 5 teams in particular, and potentially Villa, that's 6 teams. I don't know, even if we bring in, I'll use as place setters, doesn't have to be them, Liao and Krupi Jr. I'm not sure we're passing any of those 6 teams. Now things could happen, right? Chelsea might sell guys.
Well, I was going to say, Scott. I was just about to say that I think also the reason why I said what I said is because at this moment in time, Scott's right. We don't know what's going to happen with Chelsea, Newcastle, Aston Villa. Look, Aston Villa can't go and spend big unless they sell at the moment, right? They're even in more financial problems than anyone in the top 6 right now. even though they got Champions League football again. Now they're going to have to deal with potentially losing Morgan Rogers. If they lose Morgan Rogers, they've got to reinvest that properly. Otherwise, that could be a problem for them. And there's talk I've seen that Ollie Watkins might be going to Fenerbahce. Now, if Ollie Watkins goes off, that's the striker they're going to have to fill up. So it's not all set in stone where Aston Villa are going to be a better team. Chelsea, they look like they want to sell everyone at the moment. Like they're selling everyone. So they've literally sold their whole midfield. So what are they going to do? Are they going to recruit right? And the thing is, everyone's got a new manager, right? And we don't know how Xabi Alonso is going to be. We don't know how Iraola is going to be for Liverpool, albeit we know that he's got Premier League experience. But the one out of all of them, apart from Arteta, like Maresca, City are going to be in a transitional period right now, right? They're not going to be the same Pep team anymore. So we don't know how they're going to perform. Now, I think that's where, and Man United, they're going to have to deal with Champions League football again, right? Are their squad big enough? They've got 2 midfielders right now, right? And they're struggling to get, they're about to bring in Andre Santos, but Edison, he failed a medical and they want him to do another medical or whatever the Man United fans have been saying. So is that one going to get over the line? So there's a lot of if, buts and maybes. You're right, Dan, there is. But I just think with the way that we've gone about our business and with the way we look to go about our business, we look to be the ones at the moment with the most kind of the best kind of plan.
Momentum. But to prove your point, actually, the players we've brought in are solid. They're proven Premier League. No issue with them. I've got no issue with them at all, right? But with the front three, it looks like we're going to have to gamble. We're going to have to gamble and hope that we strike gold.
Yeah,
because
Adrian, let me come in, mate. Let me come in.
If Krupke would be the answer, or even if Savinho or Light would be the answer, we don't know.
Adrian, let me come in. I was going to come in after Danny. And look, I totally get the optimism in the fan base. Totally get it. Yeah, 100%. Right. You know, this is not seeing things here. We're so aggressive in the transfer window. Signing £200 million on 2 midfielders is madness. Let me put it like this then. Just kind of switch it around a little bit. What would be the minimum expectation? And if you expect we're going to get Champions League or some kind of European football with 1 game a week, if we don't get major injuries, what is the minimum expectation then for you guys? If you know, because you've got quite high hopes for next season.
I'll just say mine very quickly. I would be disappointed if we got all those players in. I'd be disappointed if we didn't get top 5 because I think with a team like that, 1 game a week, I think there's no excuses.
Okay. So you're putting the pressure on. Fair enough. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, I think if we have like a Krupke level player and a Liao, like we get proper players at left wing, I would say I would expect us to get 6th, and I would be, or like 6 would be my high end, and I would be happy if we got in the top 10. Anything below 10th would be a disappointment.
I think I was going top 6 or 7th before the window opened. I think top 5 is a given now. I think it's a given.
Given?
Yeah.
If we sort out the front line.
We will, because I'm confident
even if we sort the front line.
We'll bring players in to front line, whether it's Savinho, whatever. I think top 5's a given. I think like Champions League. I think other teams, because I also think like the other 2 points coming in, we mentioned earlier, was the 115 plus charges for Man City and Chelsea's 74 plus charges under the FA, not the league, right? I think that comes into play. And I actually think it suits Arsenal's chances of winning the league again, right? Which we're not doing, right?
Do you think they're going to drop points mid-season for City? Is that what you're saying?
I think if justice is done, see, I know what the charges are and 4 banks of charges they've got, which go back to like UEFA, those statute of limitations run out after 5 years on them. So they broke those rules. They broke the rules on paying players and managers through third parties, right? They got away with a bit of the third party companies subsidising them and giving them, sponsoring them and all that. I think they're as guilty as hell. And after what happened to Everton and Forest, they should get a massive points deduction and at least a 5-year transfer embargo. And I think that might be why they might go big in this window.
Why are we having to rely on other teams, Adrian? This is what I don't like.
Well, no,
relying
we
on other
are
teams
relying on.
to
I'm
finish
just
higher
saying,
in
like,
the team. I don't
I'm
like this.
not saying
Chelsea are
relying
going to
on other
this
teams.
and City
What
are
I'm
going to be
saying
this.
is
What about what we're going to do?
that
What are we
if
going to
that-
do?
Do you know, Adrian?
I
I'll
think
say one.
without that, we're more than good enough to finish 6th or 7th.
I'll say this. I'll say this. I think the Zerbi isn't coming here, right, and buying players like Tonali and Fernandez
Exactly
and
that.
whoever
He's
else we
ambitious.
bring in. Hold on, Adrian. Hold on. And buying these kind of players, right, and telling them, oh yeah, we want to just try and win as much as we can. Oh fuck, I forgot the word now. The basically the kind of motto or the game plan from De Zerbi would be, we want to go challenge for the league. Fernandez said it in his interview, right? I think that's what he's telling them. He's telling them we're building a team to challenge for the league, right? So I would expect us to be challenging for top 4, top 5 this season.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, honestly, I'd be disappointed if we get.
So if we
lower
don't
than
get
that.
it, Danny, are you saying if we don't make it, what's the consequences?
Well, we will. If not,
Then we have to look, right, because we can't really sit here and say now, because for example, we could have loads of injuries again, and then it's going to be a problem
What
trying
if we
to get
don't,
that position.
Danny? What if we don't, and say we finish 10th or 9th? There's been improvements with the team, and the football's better. We've got to remember we finished 17th, right? 2 seasons running, right? Yeah, that's a lot better than the last 2 seasons. But I get it. The amount of money we're spending, there's new added pressure now, isn't there? Not just from our own fan base, but from other rival fans as well. They're saying also rival fans are now saying Spurs must finish in the top 5 with that level of spending. So there's a massive pressure. And then we've got De Zerbi, who hasn't done a lot in his career yet, has he? He's got a lot to prove as well. So yeah, guys, I get it. Optimism. And for me, I'm not having any targets this season for next season, not at all. I just want better football. I want to get up that league. I want us to go in an upward trajectory. I want us to improve. I want us to continue to do well in the transfer windows and try and win a cup. That's what I want to see. I want to see it put us all into a cup, yeah, rather than have to challenge for, qualify for Champions League. We're not ready to play in the Champions League. We've got this squad needs so much work. Going to Champions League too soon, we're just going to have the same old problems unless the club are going to be this aggressive every transfer window and they up the level again the next window. If that is the case, then maybe. But I just think we're putting too much pressure on next season.
Coming in, and on top of that, you've got Kudus and Kulusevski will be back. Kulu is kicking balls and testing his knee out, right? You've got both those players coming back. I mean, like, the squad is looking a lot stronger, unless for some freaky reason we should, as others have alluded to, go through another massive season where we get horrendous injuries. I just don't see this happening. I think Europe is just an absolute problem.
Even if we're fully healthy, our squad is at best 6th in the league, including addressing our striker and left wing issue. Like, if you say that we add those 2 players, we're still don't have a better. There's no way we're having a better squad than Liverpool, City, or Arsenal. Unlikely we're having a better squad than United. And Danny's Chelsea are going to sell guys, but they're also probably going to buy guys. Like, we know what Chelsea does. They'll sell 16 guys and buy 16 guys.
To be honest with you, I don't think United squad's that great.
But I got to be honest.
Isn't that great?
Just one thing. If you look at the way that we're targeting players, we're looking to, like I've said, we're looking to build a balanced team, right? Just look at the differences in terms of the statistics and the analytics for when you compare Tonali and Matías Fernandez. They complement each other so well, right? Just like kind of how Bruno Guimaraes and Tonali did, right? But they're different types of players, Guimaraes and Fernandez. But if you look at just the way, and like the defenders we bought, if you look at the actual statistics, they all complement each other, right? So I think De Zerbi, now he is someone who has the utmost belief in himself and his players, right? And I just have that feeling that they're not going to tell people. Maybe he might tell people what he wants to achieve this season, but I just can't see De Zerbi sitting there with himself saying that I want, as long as I play good football and finish in the top 7, that's a good season. I think for him that'll be a disappointment, which is the reason why I just have this feeling that he's going to be targeting more than that, because I think he believes it. That's my opinion.
Ariola's doing the same thing. Alonso's doing the same thing. Mareshka's doing the same thing. Carrick's doing the same thing.
but no one is going and buying the type of players that we've already bought.
These teams
and
have already got these players.
They don't, because they already have
no,
them.
not yeah.
Scott, we need
maybe.
to see what the other teams are doing because we've moved very quickly in this window and we've done some fantastic business, right? So I would go along with you and what you're alluding to. When we need to see what these other teams have got at the end of the window. We know Arsenal are going to be a threat, and they'll be confident because they've won it. And once you've won it, that breeds
It's more about what we get. It's not about what the other. It's like what Dan said. It's not about what others get. It's what we get. We need a strike force.
Danny, what you're saying about De Zerbi and his ambition, I totally agree with you. He's going to want to win the league. He's going to want to play in the Champions League. He's never been in a position before with this level of spending, right, at a club. Yeah, he's loving it. He's probably loving it right now, right? Fantasy football season, right? Yeah. He's getting his targets. They're all coming in. The club is spending so much money like they never have before. He's licking his lips, but he's got to go and put a team together on a pitch now, isn't he? He's got to prove it to everyone that he can do
100%.
it. Yeah, so I get it. Let's bring in Elly here. Elly,
I'm very interested in what you're all saying because you've all got your £5 worth in there, haven't you? Right, so
we need the £10 worth from you, Elly.
Yeah. Right, so I'm going to go with £10 worth. Right, so I see it. Right, De Zerbi's an ambitious manager. And he's achieved a few things in his career so far. Because remember, he's been at very unfashionable clubs in terms of Shakhtar Donetsk. They're not the best club. Brighton, they're okay, but they're steady eddies, aren't they? They're not like going to win the league or do anything fantastic. He got them into Europe for the first time in their history. Then he went to Marseille and he was top in the league for quite a sizable amount of the first part of the season. And then he dropped off as he lost a few of his players and he had quite a lot of injuries as well. But he's come to Spurs and you saw in those 7 games that he had to save us that he's not a crybaby. He doesn't want his players to be crybabies. He wants a professional outlook of the club. He's getting what he wants in terms of the transfers and the players that he's identified. There's a few players that we were after before he came, which I feel we haven't got them over the line. So are we really going for those players now? I'm not sure. But the main thing is everybody's in agreement that we need to strengthen our front line because that front line is pants. And I think it defeats the objects. We will do it. But if they don't for some reason, if there's a scenario that they don't and they stick with Richie and Solanke and Muani, for example, we're going to be up shit street because all the good work, I said this on Dan's stream yesterday as well, all the good work we're going to do leading up to the front three is going to break down because they can't hold up the ball. Solanke's okay at holding the ball, but he's not brilliant, right? And he's had injuries. So has Richie. Muani, he had that dead leg, didn't he? And then we put him on the wing. Poor sod, he was playing on the wing when he wanted to play striker, right? And we've got a mismatch of Tell, Bergvall, Gray, who are not quite there in their development, and they haven't been developed either. The only one who really you can say had a proper look at was Gray. And he's not quite there yet. He's still got to develop as a footballer. I don't think he's going to be top notch either. So I think we should move all these players out, including Pape Matar, because he's more like a runner and he doesn't do much on the ball. He's not comfortable. He won't get a look in anyway. So he might as well seek another club. But that front three, if we get that right, I'm in agreement that we can hit top 6, but I think De Zerbi, he knows the type of players he wants, right? So I think we shouldn't go for the targets that we were going for before. I think he should identify the players that are going to gel with the Tonales and the Fernandeses, and he should be the one picking the front three, not the ones that we were after before. Yeah. So I expect next week and the week after, because I think we start training in 3 weeks. Is that correct?
Pre-season starts Friday, Elly. But that's for
Pre-season,
players.
right? Okay.
Yeah, but players, obviously, players involved in the World Cup, they get their 2 weeks off. Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be just Jed Spence and Porro and Romero, wouldn't it? If Romero stays, but it looks like he wants to get himself out of the club. Whether anybody buys him, that's another question. Yeah, so that front three is very vital if we're gonna go.
Yeah.
And then January we strengthen again, but we've got to strengthen the other positions as well because goalkeeper we've got Dubravka, Austin. Come on. He's not going to get a look in. We might as well get another goalie, ship Austin out and get another goalie that's younger than Dubravka. And if we're going to give Kinski the number one spot, which I don't agree with, by the way, I really don't agree with.
We've got,
right?
Elly, we've got 7 homegrown players. We're going to get Europe next year. I don't care what anyone says, we're going to get it. We've got 7 homegrown. Not that 7 homegrown is critical, and not that you should keep the homegrown player if he isn't good enough anyway, right? Just for Europe.
Yeah.
Right? It's like if you haven't got the 8, if you've got 6 instead of a 25-man squad, you've got a 23-man squad. But that doesn't really matter that much, really, because you have unlimited under 21s you can add to a European squad 24 hours before a game, right?
Yeah, okay.
So it's not super critical. That's why when people say, "Oh, Spence goes, we lose a homegrown," well, not really. You know, if that depends if you like Spence or not. You know, I'm looking at towards the end of the season when I look at that, like the Spence
Are
scenario.
you happy that Kinski's given the number one spot, though, Adrian?
Yeah, I am.
You're happy with
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
But
I'm happy.
what have we got that to base on? We've seen him 13 games, yeah,
Well,
and two of those were. You can blame the pitch at Atletico Madrid because I don't blame Kinski for that Atletico Madrid debacle because that happened to Barcelona as well.
That wasn't a fair game to throw him into anyway. It wasn't a fair game to throw him into. That was poor management.
True, but Vicario was injured, wasn't he?
When you look at a goalkeeper, you're looking at people say, "Oh, good shot stopper." Oh, please don't hit with that. That's a prerequisite of every goalkeeper being a good shot stopper. I'm looking at how he lines up his ball.
There's levels of good shot stopping, isn't there?
Corners.
There's levels. Adrian, there's levels of good shot stopping. You could be excellent or you could be just good. Yeah, but you could be
Vicario's shot stopping is up there with the best.
It's up there with he's number. I think he's number 3 in shot stopping. Yeah, but in the other parts of his game, they're found wanting, aren't they?
Yeah, free kicks and things like that. Kinski's better than that. His kicking's better, right?
Right.
There are lots of things you can look at for a goalkeeper. Positional play, come on this penalty area, coming for crosses. There are lots of things you can take into a goalkeeper. And I think Kinski deserves his chance. I think he deserves his chance towards the end of the season.
Based on what?
Can I just say? Can I say something? I don't want to go on this argument of the goalie tonight. I've heard it so many times.
Okay, fair enough. Well, shut up.
To Dev. No, I'm sorry. I don't want to shut anyone down because there's one more subject I wanted to cover before we finish off tonight, and then I'm going to give you guys the option which way you want to take, what one you want to do. I can't do both. I ain't got enough time. But with Kinski, we'll see. It's a bit of a risk for me, but we'll see. We'll give him a chance, see how he gets on. If he's not doing well, we can sign another goalie in January and improve that area.
We'll talk about it all season long, right, Dan?
I like the Paraguay goalkeeper.
It'll be an ongoing thing all season long.
I like the Portuguese goalie.
And also
Diogo Costa.
Diogo Costa,
he's fantastic.
Great goalie. Going back to the discussion we had, and which was really interesting about expectations for next season, this is going to rumble on for the rest of the summer and into the season. So yeah, lots of debate going to happen with that. But that's good. It's good stuff, man. It's good that we all see it differently. Yeah, it makes it interesting, right? So look, the two subjects. So there's 2 subjects we can talk about. I've run out of time, but we can either talk about. I don't know if anyone's got the energy for this one, but we'll see.
Go on, hit us with it, Dan.
Hold on. We can talk about look, there's two things here. We could talk about the whole kind of Levy-Enoch debate, credit or criticism, right? Or we can talk about the World Cup. obviously it's a big game at the weekend. The
Can
last
we talk
8.
about the World Cup? I'm fed up
Yes,
with
Elly,
Levy.
Levy,
Fucking
Enoch,
fed up with the sod. I
I
don't
know,
want to hear his name again, actually.
fair enough, but this whole kind of change and why we're spending more now when we could have been spending it in previous seasons, that type of argument. Or we can talk about the World Cup, guys, and we'll just vote. I don't mind.
I don't mind the Levy conversation. I mean, I haven't really got much to say on the World Cup, to be honest. But
Okay,
I
so
love
that's
the
one.
World
whatever
Cup.
whatever you guys want, I
I'm
don't
watching
care.
every game.
I don't
One.
think
I
Levy
think I've
takes
missed half
any
of one
credit.
game. That's all.
Yeah. I don't think Levy takes any credit. Like it's been mooted in social
Adrian,
media.
before you get into it, mate, just give us which one you want to do. Do you want to
Oh.
go with the Levy Enoch
Yeah,
whole
the vote.
conversation around, why now? Why are we spending big now? Why is it taking so long to do this? Who's getting, like, Levy's getting credit, Levy's getting criticism, everybody's kind of changing their opinions on all what's happened and everything like that? Or do you want to talk about the World Cup, Adrian? Just tell me which one.
I think the World Cup for me. What do you guys
Okay.
think?
Okay,
Yeah,
World
I
Cup,
want
that's
the
2
World
to
Cup.
1. 2 to 1.
Yeah.
Scott, where do you want to go with this?
I mean, I'm good with either one. I think the only thing I'd say, I have things to say about Levy, but I wonder if we're all on the same side.
Why
if
don't we
have
just
anyone-
quickly, just
So
all
I'll
of us,
say-
just give us our
Levy.
opinion on it, and then we can move on to the World Cup. Yeah, because I'm sure everyone wants to give their little kind of spiel on it. Go on, Scott. You
Okay.
start, mate. You
Who's
start
that?
with this whole Levy, Enoch.
The one thing that I think that I would say about it is there's a lot of times I'm hearing now Levy himself deserves credit for it, as though I think the biggest factor that we always have that gets ignored is being a London-based club and being a club with the biggest population size. Those are the biggest reasons why Spurs have the money they have now. Now, did Levy take advantage of those two things? 100%. But let's not pretend that Levy came in and took over Tamworth and got them up to this point, right? Spurs were a very big club before Levy came in. Spurs were a financially attractive club when the Premier League got started.
Sure.
They were one of the 6 clubs that were started there because of their location and size, right? When Sky was setting it up. So I give Levy credit for taking advantage of those things, but I think when now people are pretending like he somehow acted without Enoch's knowledge, as though he was the one who built this $1 billion stadium all by himself. He was the one who had the idea to make a sustainable club. He didn't do it alone. He did it fully with Enoch's backing, the good and the bad. So Enoch should have got blame when Levy was getting blame, and Enoch should get credit for the same things that Levy is now. But it was time for him to move on. He wasn't willing to take us to these levels because he didn't want the risk. The same risk that a low risk tolerance that allowed us to get here is the same risk tolerance that wouldn't let us advance. So I'm glad that he's gone. He did some positive, but the idea that he did some sort of like magical business move to get us here is ridiculous. It wasn't some miracle. Him and Enoch together put out a plan. Took him 25 years to get there.
Yep.
Thank you. Move on. Goodbye.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm with you, Scott, with that. I'm with you with that, really. Go on, who wants to go next?
I literally can't say anything more than what Scott just said. I think he was absolutely spot on for me.
Covered all bases.
You did. Yeah, in a nutshell.
The only thing I would add
Go on, Elly.
was to say he's a right sod for taking him and Enoch, not just him, for taking the pensioners' concessions away. Disgraceful. And when he wanted to do the, when we were in COVID, and he wanted to put people on, I can't remember what it was called, furlough. That's it, furlough payments. Disgraceful. The people that work their socks off at the club, and I see them every time I go to White Hart Lane. I had the privilege when I lost my husband's credit card. A lady called Linda, and I was in the disabled section at the time. She was brilliant. She walked me through where they were going to do the go-kart bit. It was all dark. She put the lights on. And she said they were supposed to do the museum here, right? And they're doing a go-kart. She told me before they even done it, right? And I was really flabbergasted. And then she walked me through and she introduced me to Ledley King, and I loved it. It was like these people make the club. And they wanted to take their money away. It's disgraceful, right?
Yep.
That's what I don't like about ENIC. They just all about the money and they're money grabbers, right? And they never put us first, and they admitted it in their what they called their announcements that they made. Yeah, that we didn't put the football first. No shit, you didn't. You know, fucking sorry, I'm not going to swear, but I'll try not to. But I really get angry about it because they're all about themselves, right?
Well,
And don't be blindsided by all this spending because we want to see it regularly because
it's
they've
not
done
just
this sort of spending before. They've actually
Elly.
spent this money before. It's
It's
not the
not
first
just
time they've spent money because they spend on average between 300,000 and 450,000. You know, so they have done it before. So it's the type of players they've got in, which I like. I must admit, I do like the quality of the players they've brought in, but I don't trust them. So that's my stance on it anyway.
I think just to add as well, right? I think what the difference is, Ellie, is that with what's going on now, we've never ever been a club that's gone and signed the ready-made player, not under ENIC or under Daniel Levy, right? And I'm gonna be honest with everyone, and I said this on Danny's show before. I think with ENIC, I don't believe for a second that they're doing what they're doing now for the fans, like to actually make us. I think what they're saying, right? I do believe there's an element of truth to it, but it's kind of like that thing where, like where someone tells you something, but they only tell you half the story, and it might be true, but there's a whole lot more underneath it that they're not really saying. So I do think what they're saying to the fans about we actions speak louder than words, and we want to put footballing decisions first, pausing the hotel and all this kind of stuff, the construction of the hotel, pausing that. I think all of that is all true, right? And I do think what they've said is more true than this statement and this summer than they've ever been before. But don't kid yourself for a second that it's for the fans. It's only because they're trying to protect their asset. Because you've got to remember, the end goal for ENIC is to sell the club. Now, how could they sell the football club if the club went into the championship and became below the actual half of what the actual club is worth? It could have been worth like 1.5, 2 billion if it went into the championship. So because of the nearly car crash that nearly happened, they're now going to do what any other business owner does: is pump money into their business to invest into it. Wherever they've got the capital from is whoever's business, right? But they are going to put money into the footballing side of it because at the end of the day, if they want to sell their asset at the highest value, well, not just that, it's got to be the most attractive asset, right?
Yeah,
So
of course.
you're not going to sell a club for 4 billion or 3 billion if you're in the championship, right? And you've got a stadium that you can't get revenue naming rights for. But if you've got a club who's consistently finishing in the top 4, right, challenging for the title, just for example, has got a team that plays one of the best football styles in the league, who've got a top young team and a top manager, right? To any person who's looking to buy or invest money into a football club, they're going to look at Tottenham as the whole package. And I think that's what they are trying to do. They're trying to make Spurs as a sort of mouth-watering to investors as possible, because that's where they're going to get the most value for their asset. And then they're going to sell.
I agree with you, Danny, but one thing I don't agree with you is that we haven't bought ready-made players before. Maybe we haven't bought them all in one window like we have this time, because we've got Senesi, Robertson, Dubravka, Van Hecke, Tonali, and Fernandez is not ready-made yet. He's 21. He's still growing, isn't he? So we've got 5 ready-made and 1, he's still growing. But he's established himself as a Premiership player, but he's still got a long way to go to, become the peak player that he can become, right? So we have bought players like Maddison, Solanke, right? He was proven for that season, but not other seasons. But we bought him. Richie was proven. He was an established Premiership player, even though he's shit.
Richie was
even
awful.
though he's shit, right?
Yeah.
He's not a shit workman. He's a workman for the team, but he's a shit shit player overall,
Look,
right?
what I mean is, Ellie, though, like that we've never been a club to go and sign the very best in the league in their positions currently right now, right? Tonali is one of the best midfielders in the league,
what I agree with you. Yeah, I can agree with you on that.
And so is Fernandez. And if we were just to sign, just say we do sign Krupi and we sign Liao, they are some of the best players in their positions in the world, right? Right now. But if we're going to base it on form, and let's all be honest here, Krupi is a special talent. He is. You can see
that video that where he's doing the tricks, right? The ball goes over his head, Danny. Just to let you know. I don't know if you've seen it. I've posted it most places, right? It goes over his head, and they do this challenge where they got to deft touch it. So he goes over his head, and he deft touches it between, like, puts his legs behind him, and then flicks the ball back, and then scissor kick volleys it into the goal. Unbelievable.
What is going on this panel tonight? What's going on with this panel? Everyone seems to be in agreement.
We welcome the spend, don't we?
Because Krupi's a very good talent.
Why didn't it happen before, right? Levy, I don't know if he's worried about his share value or whatever. So, I mean, like, we're all welcoming it, and like people are sort of like celebrating it, hang about. But why didn't they sack Levy before? And now they've got the big spend. Is it what we don't know? We're in unknown territory. What we don't know is the fact of, like, if ENIC were willing to put money in, was Levy then willing to put his share of that in? Because if he owns a third of ENIC and they're willing to put up 300 million, then he should be putting up 100 million, right?
Can I ask you a question, Adrian?
Go on.
Why do you think they got rid of Levy, right? And now all of a sudden the strategy has changed.
Danny, you must have heard beforehand that there was, like, especially with Viv, that there was like disagreements between Viv and Levy anyway.
He doesn't like Levy.
Yeah, definitely. We knew that years ago. Like years ago.
Perriman don't like him either.
And look what he's done, right? The fantastic pit is the stadium, the training ground. We're a world-class outfit, right? But, like, on the footballing side, total crap. You know, shopping in Poundland instead of Harrods.
He's made us into an embarrassing side, hasn't he? Spursy everywhere.
That's it. And that's why I'm surprised, guys.
We win the Europa League and they sack Levy. Why does, like, you know, Viv and Charlie, the son, you know, why and you've got Nick Boucher, you've got Chariton. Why now sack Levy? Why now? He's increased your portfolio, the value of your property, since you bought the club off of Sugar, exponentially.
Well, that's the question for all of you.
Why does he got a reputation, didn't he?
But like Scott said, it was all of them that achieved that, not just Levy.
Yeah, but
so to get rid of him, there must be a reason. There must be a reason. It might be just they don't like him.
I think
just shift him out, go away. We don't want him anymore.
Guys, let me say something.
I think they wanted to get rid of him earlier.
Yeah, go on, Dan.
Go on, Dan.
Basically, it's reputation, isn't it? Levy is activity in the transfer market. He built a bit of a reputation, isn't it? Tough negotiator, hard to do deals with other clubs. He built a reputation. Then, you know, there's the old Levy out, protests, everything like that. And they thought, let's get rid of him, get the fan base back on side. So there's a bit of that. I just think it's not a coincidence. Now Spurs are suddenly spending because Levy's gone. ENIC have always been the owners. This is why I don't buy it. This is why I don't buy this argument. And what really annoys me, and what I hear online on YouTube across X, is that, you know, Levy's getting all the praise for bringing us to this point. Now, ENIC are getting all the praise now because they're finally spending some money. Everything's forgotten, and we're on the up. I mean, I need to see this. I need to see this question in transfer windows move forward. Is this what it's going to be now? Are we going to always, you know, be like this in the view? And if they don't, it's just we're gonna have those same conversations again, like we've been having. So for me, there's lots to prove. And I think, Danny, you mentioned, and you're not the only one who said this about the club. You know, they're trying to build a club up for a potential sell. So many people are talking like that now, and I get that argument as well. So they really care about their fans, or is it all about money at the end of the day? And they've got this fake persona that, we love the club, we want the club to be successful. It's all a load of bullshit.
Yeah, of course it's a fake.
I would like to think that ENIC were unhappy with Levy, grateful for the increased value on their equity.
We don't care about money and all of that, do we? We don't get it.
But I just think like they thought, no,
Adrian, you got to remember, right?
This isn't the way we really want to go. So like, it's time for Levy. And I agree with it. I agree with it. But ENIC don't get off scot-free because they've sat on this club for 25 years and watched us fans be dragged through the crap, right?
Thing is, Levy's
Elly,
as well.
What? One sec.
Yeah.
I think the thing that people forget, right? That again, the question was, they got rid of him, right? Personally, I think they got rid of him because I believe they've wanted to sell this club for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Levy was getting in the way of things. But I also have heard that there has been some sort of like underhanded stuff done from Levy to kind of skimp money where he shouldn't be, basically. And I think that was all part of, I think the sale price of his shares and all of this kind of stuff. And I think there is something to act the way they did treat him by literally getting rid of him and his wife, who was his secretary, I think, right? And basically banishing them from the ground and from the training ground and sending their stuff home in a box, right? After 25 years, something big had happened, like 100%, right? There is no way that they would have just got rid of him like that. Because first of all, I know, Adrian, we knew from years ago that Vivian didn't like Daniel Levy, and that the plan was always that when Joe Lewis is ready to kind of not relinquish control, because I still believe that he is controlling a lot of it, right? Just through his children. But I do think that they have their own vision. And I think as a family, as the ENIC or Lewis family, I think the plan has always been to cash out, right? And get as higher value as possible. And I think it's so, for me, it's obvious why they're spending the money now. It's because they want to make sure the club's not ever in a position again where they're going to lose more than half their value of their asset by going down to another division, right? They want to make sure that they can maximize the revenue and maximize what they can get for it. And I think Daniel Levy was stopping that.
Right? Yeah, I got a question following on, and Scott, you can answer this question actually. So is this a kind of what's it called? Are Spurs spending big? Are they spending big because the plan changed, or it's because they had no choice? This is it, really. Is it because we almost got relegated? And is this a kind of is this a genuine and new era, or is it like I would say like a correction window? I don't know. What do you reckon?
I'll answer Danny's and yours at the same time, if that's okay, because I do agree with Danny. I think they sacked Levy in part because they realized he can't take them any further in terms of making money at the club, and they want to sell it, and they think that and that's why I think when Danny said he was moved out like pretty quickly and not like, hey, let's phase you out. I think there was something about them trying to sell it in the past that he was getting in the way, and they didn't like that. And I think that's what comes down to now, Dan, is that when you see what they're doing right now, the one thing is, what are the names you just mentioned? Nick Butcher and Charrington, right? These aren't football people. The people ENIC brought in are financial people, not football people. If they were doing this because their interest wasn't about football, they would have swept out Vinay, they would have swept out Lang, they would have brought in and replaced them all with fully new football people, right? But they haven't done it. In part, I think because, as always, even if they wanted to, I don't think they have the knowledge. They don't know who to bring in.
No,
and
exactly that.
Because they're more focused about the money. They want to sell. This is about selling the club and maintaining the value of the club. And they saw Levy as actively getting in the way of both of those things. And if they didn't like him, even the more easier way to do it. So I think everything we're seeing right now is to get this club's value up to as high as it can go.
Yep.
And if that football benefits from it as well, great. If football gets in the way of it, then we're not going to get moves, right?
Yep.
That's my view of what's happening. This is to
100%
boost the value.
100%. And do you know what? I'm going to say one other thing, but then Elly, you can go.
I'll let you.
I've just got a funny feeling. If you look at what Newcastle PIF are doing right now, right? Let's see what they do in the window. But all I'm going to say is watch this space, because Newcastle, that when the PIF bought Newcastle, right, they said that in the next 10 years they want to win the league. And I think what they found is the problem is because Newcastle have been so inconsistent in the last 5 years, right, where they've finished in Champions League, not finished in Europe, not finishing Champions League. And because they've got like a stadium where they can't really charge the same ticket prices, they don't have the same revenue streams that we have, they don't have the same global fan base that we have. So all of that, I think, is such a like a chain or like a handcuff for the Newcastle owners. I wouldn't be surprised in the next couple of years if Tottenham end up becoming a team that is challenging for the title or challenging on a consistent basis for top four. I wouldn't be surprised if you see the Newcastle board sell up Newcastle and go and buy Spurs.
They bought the wrong club, haven't they?
I honestly believe that can happen, genuinely. And I'm going to say watch this space on that. Watch how Newcastle start doing their business.
They're signing kids, aren't they? They're signing young players now.
It makes a lot of sense for PIF and Newcastle. It makes a lot of sense for them. Spurs are the exact kind of club that they should want to buy and could maximize all of their benefits are maximized at Spurs.
Yeah. Hopefully they do. But I just wanted to add something that I was on a stream with Rain. I love Rain, right? And he said something. He said something really poignant. He said that a lot of the rhetoric around Levy and all the sponsorship that comes from the club, right? One thing the sponsors don't like is embarrassment, right? Yeah. And he brought a lot of embarrassment to our club because the fans were very unhappy with him. You saw 2,500 probably people marching down Tottenham High Road. This all has effects on how they see Levy. And Rain said one thing the sponsors don't want is people shouting against the owners. And we saw quite a few incidents where somebody went up to Vivian Lewis and had a go at her. They had a real big go at Vinay, calling him a fraud. And all the sponsors are there because they sit with the directors, the sponsors. They're like their guests. And they see this, and I agree with Rain. It brings embarrassment onto the club, and sponsors don't want to see that. So to protect their asset, because remember, these people, they didn't become billionaires being nice, right? And they've probably had people throw things at them as well, you know, insults and whatever, because that goes with the territory. But I just feel you guys have hit the nail on the head, right? Because they do want to sell, and they've been touting with selling, right? So they want to get the maximum amount of profit out of the club. And the Newcastle owners, yes, they would be perfect for us. And you know what? Some people are quite snobby about other countries and how other countries have treated people. But our country's done it as well, right? Don't forget, we've done it. We've raided other people's countries as
Elly,
well.
The English is somewhat historically.
I don't want to get political. I don't want to get too political. I want to move away from that because you know it could come back on me as well.
I'm talking about history. In history, the British are some of the worst in terms of violence across history.
Yeah,
like,
right.
So
and
I don't want to hear.
I'm part British, right? Because my grandmother was English. My great grandmother, was English. So I was born in England. So I love this country. I love our country. All right, I've got Greek heritage as well. But the Greek heritage was just as bad back in the day, looting countries. So every country's done it, but I think there's a bit of snobbery when it comes. So if these owners come in and make us the global football club that I want us to become and very highly successful, because we've been starved as Spurs fans and we've been so loyal to our club. We're probably one of the most loyal fan base, right? But we've been at each other's throats because of the misery they've put us through.
Elly, I'm going to say one thing as well, right? Why do you think, right, these people like the PIF, right, essentially the public investment fund for the country, right? They are worth over $1 trillion, right? They're ridiculously rich.
these people didn't come in to go and buy Newcastle to build them
No.
up, right? They want things that are ready now, right? That's what. And I've spoken to Jimbo from Kate and Jim, right?
Yeah.
He used to work for a Saudi royal family, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he
did.
knows exactly what they're like, and I agree with him. These people see a football club as a toy, like Abramovich did, right?
Yeah.
Abramovich invested into Chelsea purely for his own gain. He just wanted to see that he bought something that's a shiny toy that it could win titles and stuff
Win
like this,
everything.
right? Yeah, like these people are not doing it for the money; they're doing it for their own personal experience and gain, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's like the Qataris, right? The Qataris against the Saudis, it's like a competition, right? It's like, I'll give you an example. What's the most expensive road in London, in England, actually? Bishop's Avenue. You know Bishop's Avenue?
Yeah, eventually, not right
Yeah.
where my husband used to live,
Right,
not on that road.
So it's the most expensive road. It's the most expensive road in Britain, right? Now, half of those houses on that road are not even lived in, right? And they're owned by Saudis, Qataris, because they literally have a game against each other with who can own the most properties in that road.
Yeah.
That is what it's like with them, right?
There's the Wentworth estate as well, which is very, very.
What I'm saying is, Elly, it's like a toy to these people, right?
Yes,
so
it's true.
If what I'm saying is, if the Lewis family build up a team that's in London, that's generating the type of revenue that Spurs can generate, plus is playing attractive football, plus has a top manager and a top team, and has a top training facility, that to someone like the Saudi PIF fund, right, is like, that's ready to go and pump money into
It's
it.
gold dust, isn't it, for them?
It's like, again, it's what we've all been saying. It's the sleeping giant that everyone is going to be. It's going to be the nice shiny toy for those type of people.
Do you know these people, right? They've got egos, right?
100%.
If we make Tottenham Hotspur great, yeah, and we overtake the Man Cities and the Man Uniteds, and we make them, that's like a notch on their bedside table, isn't it? Like having a beautiful woman, yeah. That's how they see it. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah. Because I'll tell you a funny story, right? I went to Harrods. My brother used to work there, right? And I saw loads of Arab men, and they've got so many beautiful women just following them, and they're buying them everything, right? These beautiful women, they're like toys, and the football club's the same thing for them. You know, it's a toy. We're going to make it the best, yeah? And it's for their ego, because they're rich already, yeah? These people are billionaires, trillionaires, some of these companies, yeah? So it's just an ego thing for them. So, like Man City, they've overtaken Man United in terms of what they've done over the last 15, 20 years. But do you know what? There's snobbery in football as well, because Man United are still seen as a bigger club, because they are a bigger club in terms of stature and their heritage and their history. Although when you see what Man City have done, if they continue that, it's going to be rotten for football, right? We've got to make our shout now. And
It's like
guys, I'm sorry, I've got to shut the show down. I've got to shut the show down.
Oh, that's a shame, man.
Yeah,
we were
it is.
getting in full flow.
I know we could go on for another hour, but I have to
Yeah.
go. I've got to get up tomorrow. I've got work. I've got to get my kids off to school, and
Yeah.
it's like 10 to
Got to
2
do your
here.
fatherly stuff.
Can I just say one quick thing?
Go on.
It goes in cycles, right? The way the teams have won, it goes in cycles. Chelsea have had their cycle. City have had their cycle. Liverpool have had the cycle. Arsenal have had their cycle. Now I think it's time for another team.
Let's hope so, Danny. Let's hope so.
Come
That's
on.
all we want,
Let's
isn't it?
Let's conquer football. Come on, you Spurs.
Right. On that note, big up to everyone who's watched. Just smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thank you so much for all your comments throughout the night. Cheers to Adrian as well. Go and subscribe to Adrian. Here's his link there. Go and give him a sub if you're not already. Thank you, Scott, for coming on as well, mate. If you're there or not, I don't know if you're there. Elly, thank you for coming on as well, and Danny as well.
No worries,
so
my pleasure.
Thanks for having me. It was good fun.
Always great to join your
show.
Dan.
Yeah, cheers.
Always
so much
great.
to talk about. We didn't even get onto the World Cup, so yeah, we'll maybe leave that for another night. But anyway, guys, big up to everyone. Good night, and we'll catch you all soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.
Take it easy.
Bye bye.
Yeah, take